Hello and welcome to the Toyota Care 200. This is ECR Week 9 in the Elite Championship Racing Series here from Richmond International Raceway, RIR, in Richmond, Virginia. And you may notice something a little bit different than what we're used to seeing here at Richmond. The sun's out, and it's a nice day. Colin, I know we're racing during the day. To mimic the real NASCAR race, what can we expect in terms of changes from night to day?
Well, John, even though the weather may not change that much from actually the temperature and the clouds and all that, the one thing it does change is the sun does make it slicker, which makes it looser. Therefore, you're going to see a lot of guys, I think tonight, you're going to see a lot of guys very loose off the corner, through the corner, everywhere on this track. It's going to be guys sliding over, trying to find all the grip they can. It
certainly should be a fun one. I know we got a bit of a late start tonight, so we're going to go ahead and get straight to the interviews and discuss things over qualifying. Colin, I know you got a few people you want to pull down here, and I'll hand the interviews off to you.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I'm here, Charles Silver, driver of number 7. Charles, you're not doing too well here in practice. I mean, you're struggling a little bit. 14th, about mid-pack. What are you trying to get out of your car right now through practice?
I'm just trying to get around the track at this point. I mean, I'm on probation currently, as you know, so I got that 100 laps in, I cleared that, so then I just started working on the setup to get it to where I could drive it and be comfortable.
Well, absolutely, man. I mean, you've done well this season so far, and you've actually been able to hang in there. Obviously, last week's suspension didn't really pang out too well for you in the point standings, but you're still doing that. You're running well. You're running consistent. How do you feel about your season thus far?
I feel like last night in the B cars was a really good turnaround point for me. I finished 15th. Just the finish was the turnaround. Getting to the end of the race was a big deal for me, and to be able to finish in the top half of that huge field last night was a big break, and hopefully it'll lead to more good things.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck tonight. You driver of number 7, Young Guns Racing Machine, Charles Silver. Good luck tonight, Richmond, buddy.
Thank you.
John, that was Charles Silver, driver of the number 7. I'm going to talk to Josh Mayu in the 61. Josh, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Colin.
Hey, man, how do you feel about your car so far tonight? I see you're 21st on the grid. I know I've been talking to you. You're not too happy with it. Are you struggling with the track or the setup? What are you struggling with right now in that car?
Honestly, I think it's just a little more to do with the track. We didn't have much time to change over from the night setting to the day. Struggling, it's a little loose for me, but hopefully I'll get comfortable and come home with a top 10, hopefully.
Absolutely, and that's one thing we didn't mention. You were a surprise pole sitter last week at Bristol. How do you feel about your chances through qualifying and obviously through the race tonight?
Honestly, qualifying, I'll probably start mid-pack. If I can just keep my head on straight, get through the wrecks, get comfortable, I should be able to do a top 10, hopefully.
Absolutely, man. Josh May, you're right in the thick of that little chase battle we have going on for our final chase spot. Josh, good luck tonight, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
And that was the driver number 61, Josh May. We will hear from, was it Aaron Vincent later, our in-race reporter?
I think Aaron Vincent, yes, sir.
All right, so we'll hear from him on the starting grid and getting ready to get qualifying underway. We heard Josh mention there the qualifying setup and the setup in general changing from night to day. Obviously a big change with the sun out, the track a little bit slicker, as you mentioned. These guys worked all week on a setup built for night racing, and pretty much with a drop of a hat have to change that.
Yeah, John, it's definitely a curveball you get thrown, but obviously when we're here trying to mimic, real life NASCAR, that's just some of the things you get. You get those curveballs, you get those screwballs. It's not always a fastball right down the middle. You got to kind of adjust to it, and I think a lot of these guys are doing a very good job of that.
And it's a level playing field as well. One thing, none of these guys had a heads up or an advantage, being that they found out the same time that NASCAR did that rain was going to have an impact. So all have the same time to adjust, and I think they're, as you said, doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, they're all within practice, John. They're all top 30 of them. There's 30 cars out there who have turned a lap so far. I think we're going to see 28 on the grid. They're all within a half a second of each other, which is definitely a great sight to see.
And speaking of times, qualifying underway, and Wayne Willard going to be the first one off. Now Aaron Vincent going to be the first one off pit road. So green flag out on the open car qualifying, and I know from the Xfinity race we held here last night, open car qualifying is a bunch of fun at Richmond.
Oh, it's a ton of fun, but it's not too, I mean, I guess it's not fun if you're trying to get a hot lap in because you got a car spinning everywhere.
It's fun as a fan, and it's very frustrating as a driver. It's very difficult with the braking zones and the corner speed here to stay off of someone's bumper and still get your lap down. So, just like we see here with Aaron Vincent going into turn number 1, Josh Mayhew coming out of the pits is going to slow him up.
Look at Justin Bland, 33 seconds. That's not very good. Mark Figueroa jumps up a tenth faster than his practice run. Wow, what a great lap by Mark Figueroa. Notably a great qualifier here in ECR.
Mark Figueroa has done very well for himself these past few weeks. Definitely one to watch. He's improving. Justin Bland up to second now. Matthew Thunhorse, obviously always one to watch here.
I know we got to watch for John. I know those guys were 4th and 9th respectively in practice tonight, but they finished 2nd and 3rd last night. Is Matthew Thunhorse and Justin Fuller. They exchanged some words post-race last night. Definitely going to be maybe a little rivalry going between two of ECR's hottest drivers.
And on a happier note, you mentioned 2nd and 3rd. I seem to recall there being a first 2-time winner in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, first-time winner. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Second time this season. I kind of enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun up there. Racing with the 51 and the
getting out there last night.
6, man, it was a lot of fun.
Getting himself the victory. Made a good pit strategy call. Actually, not even a strategy call. Beat him off pit road. Got some cautions down the stretch.
And sorry to interrupt you there, boss, but they're 1,000th of a second faster than John Knoll.
And John Knoll showing on my qualifying time as another tie. He said 1,000th of a second off. John Knoll one to watch as well. He's had the qualifying and the runs. He just hasn't had the finishes to back him up.
But, I mean, we can go back to talking about me now.
We can go back to gloating a little bit. He had a good run last night. Held off some guys, got some good time cautions, was able to get the restarts down. Had a good race to the finish. And
it was a lot of fun. The 6 and the 51 of Justin Fuller, I think he's driving the 8 tonight, but that was a lot of fun between all three of us. And Justin gave me a run for my money. He actually got by me there at one point, and I just had to do my best to cross him over. And we made contact. The 6 and him made contact a few times. It was just a fun race overall, and I really appreciate those guys racing me clean. And it was a fun race for ECR.
And I know you mentioned before we got into this that Justin Fuller and Matthew Thunhorse had words after the race. There was words during the race. It was a very heated exchange.
It was.
We see sometimes at the Cup level that nationwide and the Xfinity Series starts, or rivalries that start in those series can spill over to Cup. I wonder if these guys, I mean, they're obviously both out there tonight. If they continue that on track in the Cup car, or if that's kind of a Xfinity only thing.
Well, John, the thing is that both those drivers are very talented, both on the nationwide and the Cup side. Excuse me, Xfinity and the Cup side, and both those guys have a lot of speed in their cars week in and week out, and I think that's going to be something to see those guys running around each other a lot this season.
And speaking of talent, new pole sitter, sorry to cut you off, John Knoll leapfrogs Matthew Thunhorse. Looking for a pole in that all-white number 90 car, but you were mentioning there the talent level. I mean, it's one of those things where we kind of saw with Kyle and Brad when they got into it. You're just always around each other because you're both at the front of the pack.
You're just always around each other, and you get really ticked off with each other.
It's not one of those things where you have a rivalry with the guy that runs 10th all race. I mean, you're always in the top 5, and you're always seeing each other. So going forward, that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Kevin Cook in 3rd right now, Matthew Thunhorse 2nd, Mark Figueroa 4th, and Justin Bland was 24th, John, in practice, 5th on the grid.
Got himself one good qualifying setup, number 65 machine. He's rolling off now in that stand up to cancer machine, looking to get another lap in here, see if he can get on a bit of a roll here, get that pole.
Yeah, John, beautiful paint scheme there by the 65. I know he worked hard on it. I know he's proud of it. A little Steve Burns tribute from last week, and obviously Chris Perryman. And it's just a great paint scheme, I think, for those guys.
And it's very well done as well. It's a very nice looking paint scheme. Sticks with his colors as well. Looking a very nice machine out there. We see a lot of nice paint schemes here week to week. I know we always touch on it. Very well done, very good looking group of cars. Certainly a fun thing to look at as we go through qualifying here. Jumping around, always a favorite, the 45 of Kevin Cook, that Star Wars machine. I know that's a fan favorite. Back there on the Facebook page, people love that. But our pole sitter right now has no paint scheme. The number 90 of John Knoll running the all-white.
Hey, update your trading paints, mister.
Oh, did he grab one?
He did. He has an AutoZone.
We're gonna go on the.
A little bit of dead air time right here, but
yeah,
so far,
apologies.
John Knoll still holding the top spot.
I'm gonna go ahead and update trading paints for you folks. See if we can't get some of these newer paint schemes in here. Good time to do this before the race starts, though, I must say.
Yeah,
I'm glad you caught me on that. So John Knoll, apologies to him for showing the all-white number 90. He went out and got himself a paint scheme, something he'd been kind of picked on for. He went out and got it done.
I like this white paint scheme. I thought that looked good.
I did too. I really did. It had a certain simplicity to it.
Yeah.
Didn't mind it.
Kind of looked like our unsponsored guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always got to have one. Josh Wise type. There, the AutoZone paint scheme loads. All right, folks. I'll get us set back up here. We'll get you all good to go back to the race.
Got that nice Steve Burns logo around the hood as well.
Beautiful paint scheme. You guys will get to see here in just a second. You want to give him a quick update on qualifying, Colin? Do we still have the same front runner?
Yeah, absolutely. We got John Knoll, Matthew Thunhorst, Kevin Cook, Mark Figueroa, and Justin Bland still your top 5. Anthony Titchener, Jeremy Rubin, AJ Scarborough, Douglas Hessen, Rob Burns round out the top 10 so far. Josh Mayu up to 12th. He said he wanted to start mid-pack. He's in 12th, and everyone's favorite Brazilian redneck in 14th.
Quick update on Luis. He did get back to me just before the race began. He is running the number 9 car for owner points tonight. A Bug and I Racing showing him as the 20. That is the number 9 car for Nick Geilis for owner points. And here you see now the beautiful paint scheme of John Knoll, the number 90 AutoZone machine with the Steve Burns logo on the hood. You saw the GoPro machine on the outside of him, the Camry of our newcomer. So new paint schemes here. I'll get it updated, and we should be all set to go.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I like the talent level so far tonight. I keep saying that talent level. I got a redundant phrase each week apparently, but these guys are running fast laps. Those are getting around here in 21 seconds is something special.
Richmond is a driver's track though, and talent plays a large part when it comes to Richmond. I mean, it's a track that cars will run well on it, but in order to get it kind of mastered, and we saw it last night in the Xfinity Series, there was a second gap between first in practice to last in practice. So a big gap for a short track, and certainly a track that if you're a wheelman, you can do pretty well here.
Yeah, John, and that's why I think you'll see a lot of the guys who ran well in the Xfinity Series last night do very well tonight in the Cup Series. Guys like Kevin Cook ran well, Wayne Willard ran well, obviously Matthew Thunhorst ran well, and I think you see a lot of those guys who ran up front last night will run up front tonight.
Certainly a track that I think will carry over. It's a small enough track that I think the Cup car's horsepower is not going to make too large of a difference here tonight. The only thing you mentioned before we even got underway with qualifying was these cars get just a little bit loose. If you don't treat them right off the corner, there's a lot of horsepower to put the throttle down off the flat banking. So something to look out for. I know we saw a lot of spins last night in the Xfinity Series. Very few cautions for the amount of spins that we had. Remember here on Richmond, there's a lot of runway, especially on the front stretch. Yeah, you spun out. I spun out a few times. You won. I didn't win. That's the difference between spinning out once and spinning out a few times. I got into someone's door.
20th?
20th, yep.
Finished 20th?
20th and first. So a little bit difference up here in the booth here tonight.
Wow.
That's why I'm the play-by-play, and he's the specialist.
Specialist. I like that term.
Yeah,
Not sure if it's true, but I like it. Hey, I mean, I may have won, but Matthew Thunhorst still holds the points lead there.
And if he keeps doing like he's doing in this Cup Series, he'll have the points lead in both series before long. Second here in qualifying. He's pretty much finished nowhere but second all year long. I know we like to poke fun at him for it. But certainly doing a fantastic job.
We picked on him about last night. I mean, his beautiful second place finish to yours truly.
If I could finish second every race, I must say that I wouldn't be too upset.
You finished in
I finished second last night with a 0 after it.
Ran
So
21.013.
What a lap!
Wow.
That is one heck of a lap right there by John. No, I don't think anyone's going to be able to top that.
I don't think so either.
Picking up 700s here at a short track is easier said than done. So watch Jeremy Rubin. He's trying to tear it up. He's running 5th right now. He's only 300s off of moving up to that 4th position. Although starting on the inside here is not a bad thing. So I'm not sure you want to move up unless you can leapfrog to 3rd.
I don't know. I kind of like the outside last night, John. If the inside lane can hold their line on the bottom, obviously I want to point out that we are not NASCAR drivers here. We are not the best of the best. We are iRacers, and we do our best every week. So sometimes you can't hold your line as well as most people would prefer. But if the inside lane can hold their line on the bottom, John, I think the outside lane could prevail in some restarts.
And you mentioned just the talent level there, but the netcode as well. Netcode plays a part in all of sim racing, any kind of online, anything really, not even just racing, but input lag and things like that will always play a factor when there's cars this close. But qualifying's ended. John Knoll, your pole sitter. Matthew Thunhorst, 2nd. Kevin Cook, 3rd. Mark Figueroa, 4th. And Jeremy Rubin, trying out your top 5.
Yeah, if you notice, John, I feel like those are the same top 5 every week. It just seems that way, doesn't it?
These guys are certainly good at qualifying, no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, as these guys start to grid here, I'm going to see if we can get a hold of Aaron Vincent in the 49. See if we can get a hold of him. Aaron Vincent, you got a copy, buddy?
I got you, 10-4.
All right, man. We saw that Lowe's machine go to the back to front on Sunday. Can you do it tonight?
Well, I tell you what, it's definitely going to be a wild 200 laps around Richmond, and this Haters Make Us Famous Lowe's Chevy tonight. This track's basically a longer version of Martinville's, so there's plenty of opportunity banging cars around. The name of the game is going to be focusing on speed through the corners and not the straightaways. Honestly, that's where I'm going to hope to win the race tonight. Like you said, I'm pulling double duty this week after racing in last night's Xfinity Series. I was able to learn patience is key. You got to have throttle control coming out of the corners. This track's like a cobra. It'll come right up and bite you if you're not ready.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you're 16th in practice. You're 17th on the grid, so very consistent a night so far to you. What do you hope to improve on throughout the night? Obviously, it's not where you want to be right now. You want to get up there inside the top 5, top 10. Well, so what are you going to do to try to change and work your way through the field tonight?
Yeah, this qualifying position is definitely not where I wanted to be. I was struggling with some tightness issues there towards the end of practice, so I'm just going to do my best to make my way towards the front, drive smart and drive safe and just do what I can.
Absolutely, everybody. That's Aaron Vincent in the 49 Lowe's Chevy tonight for Haters Make Us Famous Racing. He's going to roll off 17th.
One interesting thing of note here as well, Colin, they do run the 2 pace laps, so a little bit more nerves set in here for these guys. You have to run the 2 laps double file before you get green here. It's a big field tonight.
I just want to point out to you that we said nobody was going to beat John Knowles 21:01. He beat it.
Did he actually?
Yeah, he did. He did. He ran a 21:00.
Wow, John Knoll is fast.
John Knoll. He is fast, John. He's going to start on the pole tonight. Matthew Dunhorst is going to start second. Kevin Cook third. Mark Figueroa fourth. And Jeremy Rubin with another solid starting spot in the top 5. And I have Anthony Fisher starting on the outside of him. Tim Bland's going to start 7th. Johnny's going to start inside row 4. And Douglas Hess is going to start 8th. AJ Scarborough is going to start 9th. Rob Burns still up there in the points battle. He's in 10th. Luis Samazo, everyone's favorite Brazilian redneck. He's going to start on the inside row 6. It's Matthew George, is going to be on the outside of him. Not Matthew Dunhorst, John. Charles Silver is going to start 13th. Sean Medling, 14th. We missed him last week. Josh Mayu, 15th. Chuck Harrell, 16th. Aaron Vincent, we just talked to him. He's going to start on the inside of row 9. Wayne Willard to the outside of him, hoping to get a consistent run tonight. Corey Chapman, 19th. Matt Moritz, 20th. Christopher Coy and Caleb Sheets, 21st and 22nd. And John Vandergrift's going to start 23rd with Nick Groth, George Price, Stephen Massey, and Josh Wallace rounding out the rest of the field, John, as these guys get around one more pace lap.
A few quick things to note here again. Luis Salmazo driving the number 20 machine. That is the number 9 machine, although it is showing the number 20 on the door. That will be for the 9 owner points. For Nick Geilis, again, one of the largest fields we've had here all season long. Got, 30-plus cars gridding here tonight, so a huge field. We expect a lot of fun racing. We are at Richmond. It is a daytime race, so certainly a lot of things to keep note on.
A lot of fun.
It's going to be a blast, folks. They roll out of turn number 2 here. The pace car still on the track. Obviously, those 2 pace laps they're running. Drop the green flag here in just a second and get week number 9 underway. Looking Matthew Thunhorst up front, still looking for that first victory.
Yeah, John, after tonight, we are going to be 1/4 of the way through the field, or through the season. I'm really excited about the season so far. 9 weeks, going to start the race tonight.
Gonna be a blast. The pace car's off. The field comes out of turn number 4. John Knoll, first pole of the season, and he's gone with the new number 90 AutoZone machine.
Yeah, John, wheel spin's going to be playing a major factor tonight on the restarts. A lot of guys may start in 3rd gear to prevent that wheel spin. Look at John Knoll getting through 1 and 2 very easily, side by side behind him for 2nd.
One thing I like that Aaron Vincent mentioned in his pre-race interview is that this track is like a cobra, and it really is, especially to turn number 2. That wall comes out of absolutely nowhere, and it gets on you so quick. Something to watch all night long. These guys are going to have some beat-up right front fenders because that turn 2 wall is so unforgiving.
Absolutely, John. And like you mentioned last night, I think you said you think the guy who's going to win is going to be the guy with the least amount of damage on his car, and I feel like that's going to be very similar tonight. It is a short track. It is a lot of beating and banging, but John Knoll was really pulling away and opened the lead up here after 2 laps.
Well, like Aaron again mentioned, it's very similar to a bigger Martinsville. It's Martinsville, but
yes,
stretched out a little bit, and obviously at Martinsville, You're going to get damage, you're going to get bumped, banged, you're going to hit the wall a few times, you're going to have some issues, but it's the guy that can maintain the best and bring home the best finish with his beat-up race car is going to have a good night. So I think tonight you're going to watch that and see guys that just keeping the fenders on the race car is going to get you a good finish here.
Matthew Thunderhorse John restarted on the outside of front row. He fell back in line in 5th place. So we're going to see a lot of comers and goers. We saw on Sunday kind of mimic good old Larry McReynolds, but we're going to see a lot of comers and goers for sure tonight.
Especially with that daytime sun out there, these guys, short run setup might be fit for it, the long run setup might not be. So something to keep an eye on as these guys fade in and out. One guy moving forward right now is no surprise. Anthony Thitcher up to 4th position from his 6th place starting spot.
Yeah, John, he's really making some moves. Another guy making some moves in back of the field a little bit is Nick Groth. He's up to 20th after starting 27th, as well as Sean Vandergrift making his Cup Series debut tonight. He's gained 4 spots in the 19th position. A lot of good battles going on, but we're also seeing a lot of single file racing at the same time. And sometimes, John, you don't need to be side by side to have a good battle with somebody.
No, not at all. This is a track that side-by-side racing is not going to be common here. Obviously, in the real Cup Series, you can do it because of the rubber buildup and things like that. But coming here tonight with the setup, the way it runs here, and without the rubber buildup, the best battle you're going to see is working somebody over lap after lap on their bumper and then getting back to them.
Yeah, going back to what Aaron Vincent said, John, about kind of like a Martinsville type track, very similar to Martinsville. He said, I think you're gonna have to see guys to complete a pass. You're gonna have to kind of dime in the corner and get a good run off the corner, and then dive it down into the next turn to be able to complete a pass. I think
it's certainly on a track where you can just go out there. It's not like a mile and a half. You can just go out there and catch a guy and pass him in a lap. It's like you said, you really have to work your corner and find the right spot to make your move, as opposed to just maybe drive it up and passing somebody, learning their line, where they're slow, where you're fast. And really the name of the game here, just like Martinsville, is getting to someone's inside. And once you're there, it's hard to hold them off.
Yes, John, it really is. And it's hard racing. It's fun racing. I know a lot of people grew up on short tracks just like this one, and it's not much bigger than the ones you guys see every Saturday night whenever you go out to your local dirt track or anything like that. It's not much bigger. It's only 0.75 miles. But these guys are doing a great job if they're working lap 10.
And the way this track is built as well, it's not anything crazy like you see at Bristol or anything really unique like you see at Martinsville. This is pretty much as cookie cutter as a short track gets. It's big, wide, sweeping corners, short straightaways, tight walls. And it's like you said, it's pretty much a short track you see when you go out, every Saturday night. It's just a bigger version of that. So something that a lot of these guys I know in the league have raced or do race, actual race cars on these short tracks. And that obviously yields an advantage that some guys don't have.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on some of those guys throughout the night.
John, I'm watching this battle for second here with Mark Figueroa, Kevin Cook, and Anthony Fisher, and I'm starting to see Kevin Cook there in the second position. Is trying to work in that high line. Not really high line, but that second groove, trying to run up there. Is he going to let Mark go here? Maybe he's going to fight back, because he has been running that second line pretty steady here over these last few laps. And
one thing that might be causing that, too, is a lot of guys, when they build their setup for the daytime racing, obviously it's going to be a little looser, and so they might swing it to the tight side, might have overswung it just a little bit, not able to get the car to the bottom. It's tricky. We're going to see 3 wide. Anthony Ditchner's going to fall in line now, but might not be able to get the car all the way to the bottom. He might not want to work that, but kind of just where the car wants to run.
Yeah, John, you can't really force the car to do what you want to do. It's kind of just to let it happen and, I guess, go where it goes. This is definitely, you said it was a driver's track, but it's also a car track. The car has to do a lot of what it wants to do. You're not going to be able to force the car to do stuff.
No, this is a track where the car is going to fight you all race long. It's just, with not a lot of banking here, these cars aren't built to drive on flat surfaces, and it's certainly difficult, like you mentioned, to kind of make a car do what you want it to do. I mean, these things weigh 3,800 pounds, and they're going quite fast, so to turn that car on a dime when it doesn't want to turn, it's not something you can do, and you kind of just have to ride out what you got. Kevin Cook did a great job, though. Anthony Fitcher's still not able to clear him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I said he was working in that outside line, and he's doing so rather well. As Mark Figueroa's cleared a second, but definitely he's really working it in fairly well.
The only problem there with where he's running that outside groove to the mid groove there is it's going to put a lot of wear on those right side tires, because you're getting a little bit sharper of a turn off. You're not letting the car push up to the wall. You're kind of turning it off the corner, and you're closer to the wall off of turn 2, which is, you stay as far away from that wall as you possibly can, because there's a wall here that's going to end your race. It's going to be that turn 2 exit.
Absolutely, yeah. And one thing we should note, that here at short tracks, John, you get lapped early if you start in the back, and we're seeing that already as Caleb Sheets is in sight of the leader.
And another thing very similar to Martinsville, you start, as you mentioned, just about half a lap behind the leader. So it's not long before that leader's beating on your back bumper and looking to get by. And Caleb right now is experiencing that as they're catching him quick.
Yeah, John, they really are. And see Matthew Thunhorse starting to make his way back.
Oh, and Caleb now down to the inside wall. Heavy contact on the left front of that machine. And he's going to stay low, going to make the leaders pass him on the outside. It looks like not much of a choice there.
He is one lap down now, John, in the lucky dog spot until we get there. He's going to have to let the leaders by because he's about to get freight trained.
Just caught the end of that little incident there. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Caleb Sheets saw him smack look like the inside.
Right in the middle of the front straightaway, John.
Inside a pit road there or something. An odd place to have a wreck, but certainly trying to get out of the way now. Leaders funneling past. It's a tough track to get by here. You see the way they come up off the corner. Increasing that wall by a couple feet, having a car there is dangerous to say the least. And now Kevin Cook's in a bad spot because he's stuck behind him. Looks like Jeremy's going to give him a break.
That is definitely a tough
Caleb
battle. 3
in the way
through the lap car.
Looking to get out of the way, and Kevin Cook's going to take advantage and now puts Matthew up there in a bad spot.
And Matthew again on the outside for the second time tonight. Jeremy Rubin's going to look underneath him, and I think Matthew Thunderous is going to be able to sneak underneath him, and he does. As Anthony Fisher completes the pass for second over Mark Figueroa.
Matthew holds on to 5th place. You mentioned Anthony Titchener back up to 2nd now. What a move for him early on in the race. Only 20 laps into this event, already
definitely
P2.
A power move.
Certainly showing that even when he starts deeper in the field, can get his way to the front. But the story right now, John Knoll, 2.2 seconds up on this field. He's having a night.
Yeah, John, I don't think it's going to be long until that leads 1.2 seconds because Anthony, I feel like, has a really good long run setup. The guy that talk in the garage was that Anthony has the setup to beat this week, and I think, I mean, obviously what's new, but he's got clear to second. I think that clean air is going to really help him out.
And again, all the guys in ECR put in, countless hours of time into their setups, but I don't know if anybody puts in more time than Anthony Titchener. He is on here thousands of laps a week, running long runs, short runs, testing different weather, testing different everything to get his car just how he wants it. And it really shows week to week. He has one of the most consistent setups. He's never really bad over a long run, and he's never really that bad over a short run, which in order to get good long run speed, you have to give up some short run speed. But showing tonight, he might have both. And you mentioned he's been the lead hunter pretty much all season long. He gets back 2-3 seconds behind a guy, and in 10 laps, he's on his bumper.
Yeah, John, he has just been absolutely insane. He has 8 starts this season, 3 wins, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and an average finish of 9.4. That is remarkable. A 9.4 average. He's averaging 35 points a week. That is just absolutely insane.
And with those wins, he's already well locked in the chase. Now just looking to run away with the points lead altogether.
As Justin Bland, John, I'm not sure if he lost connection or what, but he's 2 laps down in 26th.
So a tough break for Justin Bland, a guy that ran well in qualifying, but you mentioned not showing as he's in the server. He'll go 3 laps down. Maybe some connection issues there for Justin early on.
Yeah, that's obviously not anything you want to wish on anybody at iRacing. Everyone knows that nothing ticks you off more than having your connection drop out, John. I think I know that quite well.
Colin has had connection issues of 5 men over his course on iRacing. He knows Justin Bland's pain. We all do. All sim racers do, but I think Colin might know it just a little bit better than most. Continuing on, though, Anthony Titchener not gapping in the lead too much, but he's gapping up on Mark Figueroa, showing that setup coming in. John Knoll really having a run. If he can keep this going, he's had good cars since he's joined the league. He's just kind of had some bad luck and then put himself in some bad situations, but tonight got the paint scheme on the car and showing off good for the sponsor, catching some more lap traffic.
Beautiful paint scheme as well. I really like that. And he is catching lap traffic, John. I believe that is Matt Moritz in 16 right in front of him. And just ahead of Matt, you got George Price and Charles Silver, the next victims, I guess you could say.
So catching up to some big names here, not having the best run they were hoping for. We look back a little bit. Kevin Cook and Matthew Thunhorse battling for the 4th position. Kevin Cook got that with the Caleb Sheets incident where he kind of couldn't get out of the way and took advantage. And I think Matthew wants it back. These two have kind of been locked horns for quite a while now.
Yeah, they really have, John. It's been a good battle throughout the entire race so far. And you mentioned some big names in the back of the field, perhaps Sean Medling and Rob Burns running 8th and 9th. Aaron Vincent, we talked to him. He's running 14th. Luis Salmazo 16th. Matthew George 17th. Some of these guys have a good points standings so far. Running in near the back of the pack, Charles Silver and George Price battling for 22nd so far, the last car on the lead lap.
Certainly not where you want to be. You mentioned how quick you get lapped here. If you're struggling, you're going to pay for it pretty quick. And right now, those guys are hoping for our first caution in the race. So far, caution-free, 31 laps into this event. I was pleasantly surprised last night with the lack of caution, especially early in the race. Richmond, generally a track known for kind of its beat-em-up racing, but early in the season, guys, very respectful. And I think they're doing the same thing here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, John. It's definitely a fun race as Anthony really dives it in underneath there in turn 1. Oh, John Knoll got a little loose. We've got some good battles everywhere on the track. Nobody. And the thing is about John, about Richmond is that you're never safe with the different bankings and the different corners. You're never in the same corner 2 times in a row. It's just the throttle control. Everything about this track is that you are never steady. You always have to be on your toes.
This really is a track where you could take the steering wheel. You could take the steering wheel out of the car and still drive just about the same race. This race is all in your feet. It's all about braking.
Absolutely.
It's all about throttle control. The steering wheel is just there to hold the car on line. This isn't a track like a Texas or an Atlanta where it's all about steering input. This is all throttle control. And these guys are doing that. And you mentioned at any point, I know the cautions we saw last night were 40, 50 laps into a run where guys are all stretched out and someone just steps on the gas too soon and night gets a little worse.
Yeah. And Charles Silver, John, just went 1 lap down. He has no right front right now. That thing, he must have pounded that turn 2 wall. Charles Silver 1 lap down into 23rd position, excuse me.
You see hopping on the nose here with Charles Silver. That car badly beat up. That's beat up enough. That might be causing some issues with the suspension, maybe even the motor. That turn 2 wall might have claimed one of its first victims here tonight, and probably a few more around the track we just haven't caught an eye of.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Charles Silver got loose right there as well, but some good battles everywhere on track. We keep saying that, but there really is some great battles. I see one battle for 16th on back. 15th on back with Aaron Vincent, Luis Salmazo, and Sean Vandergriff on back.
I see correctly, Colin. I believe George Price is running a paint scheme you might like.
Yeah, I saw that. Philadelphia Eagles, baby.
And speaking of George Price, he and Charles Silver, that is the battle currently for the Lucky Dog spot. I don't believe Christopher Coy's been lapped yet, so that battle.
No, but he's getting close. If a caution were to come out, it would be a great battle for the Lucky Dog, but it's not going to be too long until Christopher Coy and Chuck Harrell both go 1 lap down.
And then the battle for the Lucky Dog, we'll talk about that all night, becomes between Christopher Coy and Chuck Harrell. I know I was involved in multiple battles last night for the Lucky Dog. Not something I'm very proud of.
John, I don't think that's something you wouldn't really. I would
not want to broadcast
to
the world. Yeah, I had a bad night last night, but these guys hoping for the caution. Charles Silver, I think, does work his way past George Price there. So Charles Silver, the Lucky Dog right now, but Christopher Coy's going to move high and let our leader go, and Charles Silver loses the Lucky Dog, and that down goes to Christopher Coy.
John, and I tell you what, John Knoll is putting on a clinic right now. Really
Aaron Berge-esque.
3.2 second lead.
Looking like he might be the guy to beat. We didn't have any doubt coming in after seeing him in practice, the qualifying run. John Knoll certainly dominant. Now he's putting on a show here tonight. The setup not dropping off at all. Anthony Thitzcher's not chipped away. In fact, he's lost about a second since moving in the 2nd position.
Yeah, John, over the course of the run so far, it's been 40 laps, and John Knoll has only fallen off 7/10 from his fastest lap of the race. That is remarkable.
And that is a lot of laps on a right front tire here at Richmond.
Yeah, it really is, John. And I can definitely tell some of these guys mid-pack are definitely rooting for that caution to come out. They just don't want to beat the caution.
Best battle on track right now, I believe, is going to be for the 10th position between Douglas Hester and the 51, Josh Mayu, and the 61. Those two going at it for a spot in the top 10. Further on back, looks like Wayne Willard going to be going at it with Nick Groth. That's going to be for the 12th position. So little packs forming here and there. No one really bunched up. Richmond kind of a track where the cars spread out, kind of run their own race, and we're seeing that here.
I see our biggest mover so far, John, is Stephen Massey in the 14th position, driving that number 97 Haas Automation Ford Fusion. He gained 15 spots from the 29th starting position so far. Stephen Massey doing a great job in his number 97.
You know, I feel like Stephen Massey is one of those guys that races kind of like a Jimmy Johnson, where he seems to always be in the back, and then he's always up towards the front. I know he passes me just about every week in the Xfinity Series, come about lap 50. He passes me every week again about lap 80, so he seems to pass people quite a bit, and he's doing it again tonight. He always starts towards the back, and he always makes his way forward. Stephen Massey putting on another clinic in that number 97 on how to pass cars at a track that's pretty difficult to pass on.
I just want everybody, for our viewers, to know that I didn't put John up to hurting his own self-esteem tonight. That's all him.
Well, after the night I had last night, I'm looking forward to seeing no cautions in this race. No one deserves to go through what I was put through last night. That was a rough night, and Richmond can do that. I mean, but back to
They
it,
can.
you
Yes,
know, I
they
mean,
can.
Richmond's, it's a track that can really beat you down because it doesn't finish your car off. It just hurts it bad enough to where you can't run. And same thing that Martinsville. It's not fast enough to blow it up, but it's certainly fast enough to hurt it. And if you get in trouble early like Caleb did, it becomes a very long night.
They can. And John, I want to point out some sad news that John Knowles' next victim is everyone's favorite Brazilian redneck driving a British soccer team car. Luis Amazo about to go lap down.
And there is Luis, again, driving the number 9 car tonight. The number 20 is not the registered number for that car, but nonetheless, the 90 doesn't care. He's looking to throw him a lap down, and that would put him in the lucky dog spot. And then we got about 1.2 second gap
Yep.
up to
It's a while.
Corey Chaffin in that number 33. So Luis has got to hope if he does get past it, if that caution comes out. If not, when you get trapped a lap down, this deep into a run, the wave around not really an option, and 2 laps down is pretty much unrecoverable. So got to hope
Good
he
job
can
by
stick
Luis
with it.
letting him go there.
Luis always a respectful driver, and one of the reasons we like him so much here on MOTV and getting out of the way there, letting him by. John Knowles still, even passing lap traffic, still pulling away 4.5 seconds now. Over Mark Figueroa, the new second-place runner. Got past Anthony
Wow,
for
yeah,
second.
I see that. I think he's really falling off. He doesn't have any damage on this car. He's just really falling off.
Maybe again,
Maybe my
the
sources
night.
in the garage were a little wrong.
Hey, the night-to-day change will do it. It's a completely different racetrack, and
Yeah.
when you put in so much time on a setup built for night, and then it switches to day, it can take even more time to undo it. And one of the things he might be struggling with here is that long-run setup on that warm, baked Richmond track. Kevin Cook still running 4th. Jeremy Rubens moved past Matthew Thunhorse. Sorry to Nick Olson there. Up into the 5th position. So Matthew dropping back to 6th. Probably the worst. He's run this early in a race all season. He's always been pretty much top 3 consistently in the first half of races. And tonight, struggling a little bit finding the groove of this racetrack. Jeremy Rubin, though, moving forward.
Yeah, John, he's making some moves. I think the top 6 or so started in the top 6. I haven't really seen anybody make moves. The guy who started 7th, obviously, Justin Bland, 28 laps down. He's definitely out of contention for this one. Tough break for him with the connection issue. But everyone who started 6th, the guys who are running 1st through 6th right now, started 1st, 4th, 3rd, 6th, 5th, 2nd. So obviously the class of the field so far today.
Yeah, certainly qualified well, running well. That's kind of how you do it at Richmond. It's kind of like Martinsville. Make that comparison all night where if you get up front, it's really hard to not be up front because it's so hard to pass. So guys are getting up front, staying up front. We see John Knoll, though, closing in, going to put Matt Moritz 2 laps down, I believe. Closing on a knot of race cars, though, in front of him. That's going to be tricky to navigate.
Definitely does not look fun, I'll tell you that much.
Passing lap traffic here is not quite Bristol bad, but it can be challenging. Again, even if they let you go, exiting with 4 feet less room on the racetrack with a car outside you is extremely difficult.
And those guys are not letting up. They're, contact between Aaron Vincent and the 50 of Matthew George.
So these guys not carrying the leaders behind them looks like pushing in the back bumper of the 50
They can't,
machine.
John. They literally can't. We're already a quarter of the way through this race, and we've been green for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and the way it's going too with the green flag run, these guys go a lap down and have to pit under green, and they're 2 laps down. And once you go 2 laps down, I mean, as I mentioned, it's really hard to recover when there's multiple cars 2 laps down. And John Knowles there, side by side, the 33 and the 50. We'll see if one of them gives, but like you said, I can't imagine they would.
And you just can't, John, if you're that guy. I mean, right now, Matthew George is doing so well this year. I mean, he's just done so well. You can't let somebody by, obviously,
like
in that
Corey.
situation.
Corey didn't get your memo. He pulled way low and braked and let him go. Corey not looking to make any enemies here tonight, letting him go. It looks like Matthew George maybe with a little more fight in him.
Matthew's 5th in points, John, 23 points out of the points lead. He kind of has to race him. 2 orange cars going at it right now for obviously one lap down.
And honestly, it looked like John Knoll made a move, and Matthew thought about throwing a block for a split second there. A little wheel out of that 50 machine. Can't say he was or not, but looked like the thought crossed his mind.
Yeah.
To maybe try to stay on that lead lap a little longer.
Sometimes the thought does. You kind of have to.
Smart move not to, though. I think John Knoll may have driven right through him with that bit of an aggressive move there. But again, if you're John Knoll, you have to because this thing could run green.
If I'm Matthew George in this situation, I'm trying to mirror John Knoll's line and just follow him past the cars that I'm racing for position so I can stay in that lucky dog.
It's the best way to use him, kind of like a windbreaker. Just splitting the pack open and you follow him right through. And it looks like he's fallen off a little bit now. The next car, too, is Aaron Vincent in the 49 machine.
Yeah, our in-race reporter, John, he's struggling so far today. He said he didn't want to start. He's 16th in practice, 17th on the grid, and 16th in the race. So he said he's not happy where he is, but it is what it is, I guess you could say. But he's in the chase. He's in the thick of that chase battle, John, as well. Not doing too well. He's 8th in points, but only 30 points in front of that chase cutoff.
Yeah, tight battle around that chase cutoff line there. These guys are going to be doing that all season long. With Anthony putting on the clinic the way he is, some of these other guys showing up every week, very well could see half the chase grid filled on points. So a lot of battles going on points racing-wise to get in.
And Aaron Vincent's going to look underneath Charles Silver at the same time. John Knowles trying to get past the 49.
And John Knowles has
Silver
to
might
be
be in the way up
patient.
there.
He has to be patient here.
You have to be.
5-second
right.
lead. He can't be diving 3 wide, doing anything dumb. He's not.
At this point, the lap cars are going to be in between you and second place. You're going to come out of the as long as you don't speed or anything like that, you're going to come out of the pits with the lead. John Knoll gets loose, gets into the back of the 49.
Yeah, the 49 holding him up big time. Look at the defensive line he's taking. Now he's going to break.
I think he doesn't want to give up that inside line, John.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe let him go just a little bit there. Tough Aaron Vincent battle there, though. And like you said, you can't blame him. We could run green for 150 laps, and all those seconds you can have to the lead are very important.
Yeah, John, they definitely are a major factor, and you kind of just have to hold that bottom line. Because as I mentioned, Matthew George could very well be using the leader as a pick of sorts, or I guess as a pick. And the 49 probably figured that was what's going to happen, and he just needed to hold on so far.
Well, John Knoll does work his way past the next car he's to, with Sean Vandergriff making his Cup Series debut here. He's going to lap him in 15th position. He'll have lapped all the way up to the 14th place car, and Stephen Massey, who's got a little way to catch, but currently only 15 cars on the lead lap. A long green flag run will breed that kind of racing, and John Knowles picking him up and putting him down.
Yeah, absolutely, John. But we got a great battle on track for 12th, 13th, and 14th. Douglas Hess, Wayne Willard, and Stephen Massey. Great battle on track right now.
And while we were watching that as well, Anthony Thitcher has fallen back to 4th. The battle right now for 2nd, Mark Figueroa, Kevin Cook. Anthony Thitcher's 10 seconds off your lead.
Wow.
Not something wrong with that race car, not at all when he wanted to do that.
We say something wrong, but he's running 4th. Sorry, guys, we're just not used to Anthony not running first.
Yeah, with Anthony anywhere but 1st or 2nd, something's wrong with the race car. And Anthony, I know he's kicking himself right now that he's running 4th. That's the type of racer he is, and not happy with the race car. He's looking to lose 5th now. Jeremy Rubin all over.
Yeah, Anthony, we talk about comers and goers, John, and he raced his way up to 2nd, and now he's kind of fallen off. Contrary to what my thesis was, but he's definitely fallen off. And his teammate AJ Scarborough up to 7th right now. He's closing in on this battle.
Looks like Anthony now just pulling over, letting the 34 go. The 6 wants it as well. Back to 6th place, Anthony, after being up to 2nd. Something wrong with the long run setup on that car. We praised his ability to build one earlier, but the night day change may have gotten the best of him here, so fall back into 6th, and now AJ Scarborough set his sights on him.
Yeah, absolutely, John. We got a great battle going on for 2nd right now. Mark Figueroa and Kevin Cook, the 00 and the 45, going at it for 2nd place.
And that is letting John Knowles stretch out just a little bit. He gained about a 2nd over the last 5 or so laps, up to a 6-second lead. And again, with the way this race is going, very well could be important. If we see green flag pit stops, you want all the lead you can get, and we're coming up on them here before too long.
Yeah, John, I don't think we're going to get to it. I think green flag pit stops, if my math is right, it's roughly 110, 115 laps or so. That's going to be a stretch if we can make it that far.
And again, as the tires wear and as these cars get a little bit more uncontrollable, the caution rate does go up. So as Colin said, very good chance we might see one. If we do, though, I can't imagine it'd be from a contact and a crash. Cars pretty much gapped out, which a lot of times can be the worst position to be in as your tires get older.
Absolutely. As AJ Scarborough works his way, AJ Scarborough works his way past Anthony Thitcher. That's for 6th place. AJ Scarborough up to 6th now.
Anthony Thitcher back to 7th and still dropping. He's got a bit of a gap between him and the next cartoon of Sean Medling, but got to figure something out as he works back under AJ now. And AJ in the wall just a little bit. Christopher Coy right behind all that. But certainly got to figure out what's wrong with that race car, and he'll have some time to adjust on it when we get to our pit stops.
Yeah, see, he's really fighting loose, John, on exit. I'm watching his hands inside the car. He's really fighting loose right now, really counter-steering that car once he gets up on the straightaway. Just that wheel spin.
And Nick Olson calling out in our chat, the 48 car running your Eagles paint scheme tonight. George Price showing 3 laps down. currently. Not sure what happened there, if he had a spin, an incident, maybe a short pit strategy. Something working with that 48 car, because he's showing 3 laps down, working on 4 laps down.
Yeah, John, he did pit there. Had some left front damage on his 48 machine. He pit on lap 50.
All right, so there you go. George Price came into pit row, but too early to make it on one more, or make it to the finish. So he'll have to make one more stop. That's going to cost him big time in the points and in this race as well. Going forward, 4 laps down, 3 laps down, in the 24th position.
Hey, John, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm looking at the hood of the leader, John Knoll, in the 90. Do you see a little front end damage there? Or is that just me?
I'm not seeing anything from the nose camera here. Maybe a little bit of right front. Could have punched in that right front fender on the back of
No, see, I see it right at the radiator. It's like just popped up as Josh Mayhew is about to go 1 lap down.
It's showing fine for me. Could be a little issue there. The hood pin's maybe a little bit raised, but
who knows? It's iRacing.
90 car might have bumped somebody. He was getting through lap traffic. A little bit of a struggle there. And it looks like, yeah, maybe a little bit of front end damage. Could be the paint scheme as well. But this hood does look a little bit raised up. Might have touched somebody.
See, now it looks fun. Now it looks fun. I'm kind of confused.
iRacing does have its
iRacing.
issues
Come
here
on.
on sim racing. He is working Stephen Massey.
Stephen Massey. Yep.
So Stephen Massey
11
we talked about
cars
earlier.
left on the lead lap now, John.
Repeat of Bristol. We had it last week. We finished with, I believe, single-digit cars in the lead lap, and looking to do it again here at Richmond. Again, it's just no form of, not a product of lack of talent or anything like that. It's just a product of short track racing.
It is short track racing. And John, I do have to ask you, since you are quote-unquote crew chief of the booth, if you're one of these guys that are lap down, do you take the wave around?
At this point, I don't think you can, because at this point, if you take the wave around and it's had such a green flag feel to it, and you don't get your caution, you pit, and you're pretty much going 2 laps down at that point. So this late in a run, I mean, maybe if you're desperate and you think you have a car that can hang, but you really have to hope. If you take it, you only have maybe 30 laps to get a caution, and then right now, these guys really not racing that hard.
From a driver's perspective, I feel like you have to.
I feel like it's your only shot at a good finish, yes.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you're the only way you're going to get on the lead lap, it's that way. And obviously, I think once we get 1 caution, if we get 1 caution, I think once we do, you're going to have multiple cautions, bang, 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 back to back to back. Because cautions breed cautions, it's just simple as that. But I just feel like if we get 1 caution, we're going to have a few, and I would take the way around if I was a...
The caution comes quickly, I'd say, yes. Anything after lap 90, though, you're pretty much going to be running on fumes and stretching it kind of far. But, yeah, I mean, I could see taking the wave around here.
That's why I'm the driver, you're the crew chief.
I'm not, dude. I'm a driver. I can't crew chief. You're asking me to make these calls. If I had to make these calls, I pit every time. You know me.
I know. Conservative.
I take my 4 tires and fuel. And I would here, too, because I think with the way this race is going, again, you're going to be able to get a good finish even a lap down. There's only 11 cars left on the lead lap at the moment. So you're going to be able to finish all the way up to 12th right now, a lap down. Getting back on the lead lap doesn't really benefit you that much for the gamble you take.
And I just want to point out, John, that while this is all going on, Anthony Fitchner is about to go a lap down. In the 8th position, 20 seconds off the leads, Anthony Fitchner in that 87 car.
And Anthony Fitchner struggling. No damage on the race car, nothing wrong with it. And again, we get called out every week for talking about him so much, but he really is the story, the kind of the personality driver. He's aggressive, he's fun to watch, and he's always up front. When something like this happens, it's quite odd.
He is. Hey, I don't know if something's wrong with that car, that setup. His team drivers are driving 6th and 7th in front of him.
And getting input from Nick Olson in our chat here, kind of playing our little pit reporter, saying that he's saying in the race lobby his car's all over the place. So struggling, as you mentioned, loose, not happy with the race car at all, and not getting a caution to fix it is going to make it difficult. Going to have to wait for those green flag stops, and by then, you mentioned, he's already 20 seconds down.
As Wayne Willard goes a lap down, that leaves 10 drivers on the lead lap down. 27, I believe, took the green flag tonight, and only 10 are left on the lead lap here after 82 laps complete.
And Anthony Fitchner back to 9th now, as Nick Groth works on the number 19 car. Next car to him is going to be Rob Burns, and then Wayne Willard, and then your leader. So, or leader now past Wayne Willard. So then Wayne Willard a lap down, and looking to put Anthony a lap down. Certainly a struggle tonight for some of these guys, not going it all the way that they had planned it. John Knoll having one heck of a night, but everybody else struggling. Battle for 2nd place, Mark Figueroa, Kevin Cook going at it. They're probably getting a little tired of seeing each other's bumpers. They've been battling now for the past 40 or so laps.
Working lap 85 here, John Knoll, nowhere to go. Looks underneath Ron Burns for the position. Excuse me, not the position. Anthony Fisher really loose. You can see it from John Knoll's hood. Wow, he's so loose on exit, or excuse me, on entrance.
Something may be wrong with the brake bias in that car. Can't quite dial it in the way he wants it to. And now he's got all kinds of problems. John Knoll to his inside, and Anthony Titchener a lap down. 3 wins on the season. Not going to have one here at Richmond, it looks like. He goes a lap down, and John Knoll will pull away. Next in his sights, the number 19, Nick Groth.
Yeah, John, Nick Groth having a great run. He's gained 19 positions from where he started in the 27th position. Inside the top 10 to the 8th position.
You go now, over Mark Figueroa. He's stuck behind a wad of lap traffic. Aaron Vincent in front of him with Chuck Herron. It looks like Justin Bland or Matthew George. Can't quite tell. An orange and black car in front of him. This is one of those frustrating positions because he's got Kevin Cook beating on his back bumper, and he just can't go anywhere.
And see, if I'm at this point, if I'm Mark Figueroa or Kevin Cook, I am just being patient. I am not trying to force anything. You got 7 seconds in front of you to the leader. You got 7 seconds behind you to 4th place. I'm just taking it easy.
I was just going to say, at the position they're in, you could lose 5 seconds passing lap cars and still not be in a battle for position. So, I mean, these guys, honestly, if John Knoll's not in the race, these guys are just running away with it. They got a 7-second gap on 4th position, but John Knoll having a day, kind of like we saw at the Masters.
Take all the fun out of it.
Crossing over sports here, back to the golf at the Masters with Jordan Spieth running the way. All the other guys in 2nd, 3rd, 4th are winners any other day.
Yeah.
But not today, as John Knoll ripping this one apart, leaving everybody in the dust. But yeah, Mark Figueroa, Kevin Cook, 6-second lead.
John, some 2 guys we haven't talked about all night long are Sean Medling and Matthew Thunhorst. Sean Medling worked his way past Matthew Thunhorst that lap right there. That's a battle for 5th place. Sean Medling, remember, won at Martinsville, did not race at Bristol. So far he's batting 1,000 on these short tracks.
And he's got the short track damage on the right front of that car all torn up, that 1025 the bone. Chevy SS going around Matthew Thunhorst, you mentioned, but catching the wall at some point, or another race car, but it appears to be the wall. Pounding on that right front. Looks to be okay, though. He's not seeming to be slowed down too much by it. Still not able to work past lap traffic. Mark Figueroa still behind these lapped race cars. Nowhere to go. Kevin Cook, though, giving him room, not pressuring him too much.
Yeah, it's good give and take on the 00 and the 45's part. Definitely doing a good job. And there's just nothing you can do at this point. Obviously, it's going to be track position. I think Richmond's a big track position track where you just need to be in the right spot at the right time. And right now, the only person in the right spot is the 90.
And I think right now, a great job of Kevin Cook realizing that even if he does stick it in there and dive bomb the 00 and pass him, there's nowhere he can go either. So one position's not worth the risk that you're going to take to pass the guy. And Kevin Cook's kind of just riding here. Anthony Titchener on pit road.
Green flag pit stops, John. Obviously starting. Anthony's cutting it a little short. Hopefully to get. Oh, John Knoll hit the wall on the backstretch, John. Obviously trying to get everything he can, hoping
and now
for
there's
this
some
to
right
go
front
green.
damage on that race car.
Oh yeah.
All kind of crinkled in right above the tire. That's not going to be good for aero. They're hoping it hurt the suspension. Not a good place to grab it. Quick update on the 48. It looks like he's back on pit road. He is currently showing, I believe, multiple laps, 15 laps down at the moment.
Yeah.
So something wrong with the 48 machine. Not the night he wanted to have. Running that Eagle scheme, I know you were hoping he went well, but
It's just the way Eagles off-season's been going, you know what I mean?
trust me, I live
Cleveland
in Ohio.
Browns.
I feel your pain. Continuing on, the
Here we
leader's
go,
got to
Luis
hit pit
Salmazo
road.
about to go 2 laps down, John.
They've got to hit pit road soon, I would think, with other
Well,
cars pitting.
with Anthony pitting right there, I think, I mean, he's the way it just pans out. Green flag pit stops. He's going to be back on the lead lap before not too long. After the leader pits, obviously, but
I think it's a good move of where he pitted as well.
yeah.
A little short, not short pitting per se, but a little short, maybe 10 laps before you run out of fuel. Get on pit road, get the tire, make up the time, and then, once it cycles through, you have a shot to be back on the lead lap or gain some position towards the lucky dog.
Yeah, he's
Just
only
hope
2
you run
laps
green.
down right now, so if he can maybe get back to 1 lap down, he will be eligible for the waiver round. At that point, I would take it. But Matthew Thunhorst, John, about to go 1 lap down.
Wow, what a night these guys are having. The big names, really, Matthew Thunhorst
dives
diving
it
to
down on the pit road.
But the big names really not having a good night. Thunhorst struggling, Titchener struggling. Kevin Cook, Mark Figueroa hanging in there, but the surprise, John Knoll running away with this event.
Yeah. I do want to point out, John, that if this race were to end where it is now, Kevin Cook would be your outright points leader.
Which is amazing because Kevin Cook's a guy that hasn't really had a ton of overwhelming success, but
No.
he's just had the
He's on-
finishes.
Yeah, he's done well. He does not have a win so far on the year. He has an average finish of 8.1 on the season, better than Anthony Titchener. So Kevin Cook doing a great job as well.
And again, that comes down to the two type of racers you see week in, week out, even in the Cup Series. You got guys, you know, like Kevin Harvick, and I compare it to this series, Anthony Titchener, kind of that driver that either wins or seems to have a problem and finish, 35th or whatever it may be. And then you've got guys like Kevin Cook that kind of go out there, they run their race, and they kind of just finish 5th, 6th, 7th every week. And next thing you know, they're leading the points, just like Christopher Cloy we mentioned last week. Before his little incident last week was like 7th in points, and he didn't have, we never mentioned his name. So.
And here comes the leader, John Knoll of pit road, John. Got to watch
John
it.
Knoll
Maybe
ducking it
if
to
he
pit road.
speeds or anything like that, John, it's going to be a big problem. He enters really hot.
Came in pretty fast there.
I think he'll be all right. He's going down pit road 37 miles an hour.
Now we've got to see Kevin Cook and Mark Figueroa when they want to duck on pit road. Mark Figueroa is on pit road. That'll cycle the lead to Kevin Cook, the only other leader of the race so far.
If I'm Kevin Cook, I'm trying to go out there and lead a lap. I mean, you're not going to gain anything. You're already 12 seconds back. You're not going to gain anything from pitting with John Knoll. I say you try to get out there and lead some laps.
And you're not going to lose anything.
You're basically guaranteed second or third. Yeah, you're basically guaranteed second or third.
Because of the gap, yeah, he heads back to 4th spot. I mean, at the worst, he's going to lose 3rd and not have a chance to battle for it. But you get the bonus point for leading the lap, and that's
so
worth
for
the
the first
point,
time, John, in 101 laps, John Knoll led the first 100, and Kevin Cook leads the 101st.
So our second leader of the race, one lead change tonight, and that was Kevin Cook taking it on a cycle at green flag pit stops. Jeremy Rubin moves up to 2nd, Sean Medley in 3rd. Nick Groth, Wayne Willard, Sean Vandergriff have not yet pitted.
I think it's a good decision for some of those guys like Wayne Willard, Sean Vandergrove, and Nick Groth to not pit some of those guys that were in the back of the field, not going to be able to gain much, and maybe stick out there and maybe hope for a caution or something like we saw at Richmond in the Cup Series.
Well, those guys are going to have to hope now for a caution as well. They got to play the caution strategy, as you mentioned, back in the path. You don't have anything to lose.
3 wide into turn 1, John. Matt Moritz, Aaron Vincent, and Anthony Titchener. Excuse me, not Aaron Vincent. You got Caleb Sheets in the 11.
So Caleb Sheets been in a lot of bad spots tonight. Not at all the night he won. And there's John Knoll looking to put Anthony back. I think 3 laps down. That'll be. Oh, excuse me. John Knoll's not your leader.
Yeah, when John Knoll goes back to the lead, Anthony Titchener will be 2 laps down.
See, John Knoll has led. I've been nothing but seeing the 90 car in the lead, so it's odd for me to see the 90 car not in the lead. But as you mentioned, wreck on going into turn 3.
No caution yet.
The 37 up high, the 7 down low, the 37 heavy contact with the wall. No caution on the racetrack.
And I know Kevin Cook was hoping for one.
Going to go back and get you guys a look at that. It looks like the 37 coming back. He just came out of pit road here. Going down the back stretch. Oh, and the 7 looking to pit. Did not see him.
Wow.
It just came straight down the track.
And
Clipped him up into the wall.
Who was having such a great night.
Just a mistake by Charles Silver. And on probation, not at all what he wanted. Looking to come out here and just have
Tough
clean
break
runs
for him.
and run well.
Yeah.
37, though, gets away with it, honestly. Not terrible damage to the race car, not a whole lot of time lost, but good car control on his part. But the 7 just kind of maybe not listening to the spotter or maybe not realizing that the car was inside of him, turned down the track and just clipped him.
Yeah, tough situation there. I mean, obviously, if you're the 37, you're obviously a little ticked off, but if you're the 7, you just didn't know. So it's really...
Oh, and Kevin Cook, our leader, around!
Kevin Cook, oh my goodness. And
Into the inside wall, and it's not going to be a caution. Right? He's off the racing surface. Now he's going to back it up, and the caution flies.
Caution is out.
Folks, our first caution of the night for a self-spin on your leader.
Oh, wow.
And this night gets more interesting. Kevin Cook going to recover.
And you know who might get the best part of that right there, John? Kevin Cook.
Yeah, that's honestly not the worst thing that could have happened if the damage on that race car is not bad.
What's going to happen, there's 7 cars on the lead lap right now. AJ Scarborough will get the lucky dog. He's going to be the 8th guy on the lead lap. Those wave arounds are going to take the wave around. Actually, no, they're not, because John Knoll's on the lead lap, John.
Yeah, John Knoll sneaks his way back on the lead lap.
So all those guys will not get the wave around. So Kevin Cook's going to come out of this maybe with 8th place at worst.
At worst, and he's going to be able to get 4 fresh tires. He's going to have 20 20 lap fresher tires than everybody else.
Yeah.
Depends on how
And
bad the damage is.
Nick
He caught
Groth
that
is going
nose.
to be the leader.
He caught that nose pretty hard. Well, Nick Groth's going to have to pit, no?
Yeah, he's gonna pit. If I'm John Knoll, I pit too. I was out there for 15 laps, but he's not going to.
No, John Knoll's staying out. If I'm John Knoll, again, you gamble with, you're
Yeah.
gambling with nothing,
And I tell you,
essentially.
who gets some great out of this, John, is Anthony Fisher, Matthew Dunhorse, Sean Medling, all these guys that are 1 lap down in front of John Knoll.
Yeah, they're going to catch the really lucky break here. You mentioned
And
some guys
Sean
caught behind
Medling's
him.
not going to be able to get it.
Yep, Sean Medling stuck a lap down. Remember, John Knoll currently being your leader is essentially the break and who can take the wave around and who can't. Sean Medling, Charles Silver trapped a lap down. But Anthony Fisher, Matthew Thunhorst, looks like Josh Mayu going to get the wave here, get back on the lead lap, and open up a whole new ballgame.
And John, there was 2 races. There was the first 110 laps before the caution, and then there's the next 90 laps.
And then I think the next 90 is going to be one crazy race to the finish. I mean, now they have nothing to lose. You mentioned there's only going to be a handful of cars on the lead lap, no more than 15, so not a whole lot to gamble with. You can go out there and really dig and race and have some fun now. Kevin Cook looks like he got that nose pound out of that Star Wars machine. No further damages, it looked like. Should be able to be okay here, but you mentioned Kevin Cook, an ill-timed spin, but not the worst thing in the world.
How about Sean Vandergriff, John, in this 2 car, running P3 at the moment?
He's having one heck of a run in his Cup Series debut. We are going to step away, though, folks. Take a quick commercial break. Give us some rest here. We've been talking for the last just about an hour straight. We're going to grab some drinks, take a break, and we'll see you guys back here in just a quick 60 seconds. Alrighty, folks, welcome back here at the Toyota Owners 200 ECR Week 9. John Knoll, your leader. We're working lap 113. Going to get 114. Going to have 87 laps to go, I believe, on our restart. There go the wave around cars, and John Knoll looks like he's going to take the inside lane. And the surprise right now, Sean Vandergriff in second.
Yeah, John, Nick Groth is going to restart 3rd. Wayne Willard, I believe, will be in the 4th position after Kevin Cook will receive the EOL. Mark Figueroa 5th. Our lucky dog, AJ Scarborough, is going to be 6th. And Matthew Thunhorst and Anthony Fisher round out the rest of the lead lap cars in 8th and 9th. Jeremy Rubin, Sean Medling, Rob Burns, Stephen Massey, and everyone else battling for the lucky dog because the green flag is out.
And
Green
just
flag
like that, pace car off, and we're green. That was quick, Colin. And John Knoll, what a heck of a jump on the restart. And Nick Groth followed him, and Sean Vandergriff is in the bad position now.
Now remember, John, at this point, the 19 has fresh tires. The 90 does not.
And that is a huge story we talked about coming to pit road. John Knoll not pitting could cost him the race. Interesting turn of events here as well. There are some cars up there in the top 10 to 15-ish range that are laps down, and a lap down and multiple laps down in some cases. The way they gridded the cars was so many wave arounds, but the wave arounds behind those cars, and so now those cars are stuck up amongst lead lap cars, and that's a whole other mess to shake out. Charles Silver's one that I caught an eye on. He's pulled up high. Wayne Willard's multiple laps down, stuck between lead lap cars. So those guys in bad spots. One of those products we saw on Sunday.
Nick hanging with the 90 right now.
And he'll be able to do that too without those fresh tires. John Knoll going to lose all the setup time that he gained. I honestly think so. That setup's kind of become null and void.
I think it will be for about 10 to 15 laps, and then after that, I think the tires will even out, and I think he'll be able to pull away like he was before.
I think with the lead he had before, he could probably drive away on the older tires. I think he's going to be okay either way.
He still has that right front damage, though. He never
Yeah,
really
that's
got
true.
that looked at.
This isn't a very aerodynamic track, but there is a little bit of aerodynamics down the front and back stretch. You get up about 150 down the front, so something to keep an eye on. If that even shaves 2-3 miles an hour off his speed, you know, it's costing him a few hundreds, sometimes a tenth a lap. You see Mark
Good run from
Figueroa.
Nick Gross so far. He's gained 25 spots since the start of the race. Sean Vandergriff has gained 20. Wayne Willard has gained 14, excuse me. And they're running 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. So good race by a lot of good drivers tonight.
I do want to make a quick correction and an apology. I didn't spot Wayne Willard actually on the lead lap and in the 4th position. I mentioned he was multiple laps down. He's not. I just didn't see him up there on the driving grid. So Wayne Willard having another one of his good runs tonight. It's been a while. He's had some struggles. Looking to rebound tonight in the 4th position. Anthony Thitzcher's got nowhere to go. Back to his story. Got a bumper full of the number 6 machine in the 48. Nowhere to go. Close call, and Anthony snaps it loose down the front. Caution wrecking 97 around.
Wow. Caution's out. Anthony had a nice save right there, John.
He did. I was on his nose when I saw the
cautions are gonna
97.
breed cautions.
97, all kinds of jacked up. You're not sure what
came
happened.
back up and he tried saving it, John, and Chris Sercoy had nowheres to go. And I said before the
97.
race, I said before the week actually that you can't save these cars at Richmond. You just can't. And I said that multiple times. And unfortunately for the 42, he had nowhere to go. And unfortunate set of circumstances, he's not going to have nowhere to go.
Yeah, and the tough thing about these cars is with the camber they run with these flat banks, and you always see it on tracks with flat banks, you really can't turn the car right. The car just won't do anything when you turn it right until it catches, and then it just snaps like we saw there.
John, if all the leaders come down right now, all those guys that are 1 lap down will get the wave around. I think all of our leaders just came down.
Doing it the old-fashioned way here, we're going to click through every single lead lap car. And Colin, you are right. Every lead lap car coming down pit road.
Wow.
So
Jeremy
that will
Rubin
give
get the lucky dog, and that's going to put 16 guys on the lead lap.
That'll give the wave around Shaw Menley, Ron Burns, Matthew George, Josh Mayu, Aaron Vincent, Stephen Massey, and Douglas Hess all 1 lap down.
Douglas Hess is 2 laps down. He just got 1 lap down after the wave around. And Stephen Massey, I don't think, will go 1 lap down because of the EOL with 2 to go. So I think we're going to have 15 on the green.
We're going to have 15 cars. So Aaron Vincent will be the last car taking your wave around. Then Josh Mayu, Matthew George, Rob Burns, Sean Medley will have the options. So good break for those guys. You mentioned cautions breed caution, and certainly doing it there. Coming out of the pits, showing AJ Scarborough as the leader, but I believe that's due to...
he missed his pit stall, Jim.
I was going to say, he's front end of that car all beat up. Jeremy Rubin also having issues. He'll come down back down pit road, and that'll cycle John Knoll. Big surprise, back to the lead. Looks like he got to the attention of his pit crew, pulled out that right front fender, maybe just a little bit, still got something on there. Oh, excuse me, Wayne Willard to the lead.
Perhaps a 2-tire call?
Perhaps. If you'd care to go back and take a peek at
yes,
that.
sir, it was. A 2-tire call for the 0-1. Could be a race-winning move here with closing in on 77 laps to go.
On a track that's this hard to pass, in order to win, you just have to get in front of somebody. You did it last night, got you to victory, didn't really run up front. Well, you ran up front, but not running in the lead, you know, until you got out of pit road, you got out first. You won the race. I can't call you slow.
You call me slow.
Just a track where you have to be out in front, and Wayne Willard's seen that. Good call, aggressive call, but takes the 2 tires, and I mean, why not? You're running 4th. There's not that many cars in the lead lap. You're certainly not going to lose too much. He's had some bad weeks, and it's a win in your in format, so certainly nothing wrong with gambling here. No, I was not calling you slow. I was saying that sometimes winning the race off pit road is more important than passing on the racetrack, and
it
see
is,
if that works here with
especially
Wayne.
I think Richmond really represents that well, especially like a Martinsville or all the short tracks, really, and road courses sometimes too, that there's just not a lot of places to pass. So track position is very key. Even though the setup was as good as the 90, you still have to get the right positioning on the track, or else you're not going to be able to complete the pass.
And especially with a car as fast as John Knoll. I mean, you can't even catch the guy, let alone pass him. He's pretty much driven away. So the only way to beat a guy like that, we say it every week, you know, when Anthony's out front or when Aaron used to be out front, and even when Matthew's been out front recently, that if a guy's that dominant, you just have to get in front of him, and that's your only shot. And if that doesn't work, you pat him on the back, shake their hand, and say good win. But
And in this situation, John, you know the double zero is fast. He's restarting 5th. If the 19 can keep the 90 on the outside as they go down to turn 1, the 90 could very well find himself in 4th or even 5th place after turn 2.
And we said it in previous weeks, cars handle so much differently in dirty air. John Knoll hasn't had that all race long. These guys have to gang up here, work together, kind of, and give one of them a shot to win it. Because right now, John Knoll classes the field, but the pace car is getting ready to turn off. We're getting ready to go green. We're going to have 75 laps to go. Let's get this thing on.
Yeah, 75 laps to go, John. 14 on the green on the lead lap, and Wayne Willard is gone with a 90 with a great jump on the outside.
What a jump by the 90.
Drag race down into turn 1, John. 75 laps to go. The 90's going to outbrake him into turn 1. Not sure if he's going to be able to make a stick. The 01's going to slide up. He's going to be clearing, but the 90's going to cross him over. He's going to stick on the outside. Wow, what a move.
The 90 showing how good that car really is. Wayne has to hold him inside here. He does that. Wayne driving right now pretty much for his life and a chance to win right now.
That right there, John, that's what you call a power move by the 90.
One of the biggest power moves I've seen all race, maybe all season. The 90 just didn't lift, drove it past him on the outside, and now the one's in trouble. The 19 going to move to his outside. Those 2 tires might be hurting him.
And we got Matthew Thunmore spinning down the back. What a save. Oh, my gosh. What a save by the 6, John.
Bringing that car straight to pit road. We're going to go take a peek at this, folks.
No, he's going to keep it off the pit road. What a save. How did he do that?
Matthew Thunhorse, all kinds of bent out of shape, had the car pointed nose first towards both inside and outside walls, and gathered it up and drove it away. What a save by the 6.
Absolutely.
Not what he wanted to do, obviously, but makes for a highlight on what's overall been a pretty bad night for the 6 car. Makes for a pretty good highlight there.
Absolutely, John. As Wayne Willard has stayed comfortably in 3rd place right now. Mark Figueroa trying to go to the outside. Anthony Fincher is going to try the inside. Kevin Cook, nowhere to go. As John Knoll starts to open up the lead over 2nd place with Nick Groth. And if Anthony Fincher and Mark Figueroa or any of the other guys in company back there want to get by the 19 and have a chance at the 90, they need to get by the 01 first.
I want to give a call to Nick Groth. We haven't mentioned it a whole lot tonight, but running 2nd, he's had some awful luck. Going all the way back, I think it was maybe even Atlanta, where he qualified front row, wrecked on like lap 5. Just had some really bad luck in the last few stretch of races. Tonight, having a great run. If he can maintain that, I think it's a huge confident boost to that team.
Yeah, John, in his last race, he finished 19th at Texas and obviously was suspended last week at Bristol. And he's having a great night so far in the 2nd position. As the 97 of Stephen Massey is going 2 laps down. Excuse me, 3 laps down.
There were some disciplines handed out, and accordingly by Anthony Ditcher, kind of talking to some of these guys that have had some bad luck, and through maybe no fault of their own, but just involved in some stuff.
Yeah.
Suspended last week at Bristol, obviously a track that's very dangerous to be on for anybody, let alone guys that have kind of had a bad streak. And it looks like they've come back, especially Nick Groth. He's rebounded, having his best run of the season so far. So a great job there, kind of helping some guys maybe find their stride, helping them get back in the groove, and it's working tonight. Only 2 cautions in the first 133 laps.
Yeah.
Great racing out there.
And I tell you who got kind of, a winner out of the whole situation is Kevin Cook, John. He spun out, wrecked himself out of the lead, and he's back in 5th place. Obviously, he can't cause another correct. It's 97, Stephen Massey spinning through the infield grass. No caution yet. I don't think we're going to see one for that.
97 backwards down the infield grass. Going to stop
right
at the
in front of
inside
2nd
wall.
place as Nick Groth gets a little loose. Anthony Fincher is going to look to capitalize. Anthony Fincher, after going a lap down on that first green flag run, 2 laps down, he found himself after the 2nd green flag run. And right now, he's making a pass for 2nd place. Great rebound by the 87.
It certainly is amazing to watch week in, week out. He's never out of a race. We mentioned when he went a lap down, pretty much all but done. Even if he recovered, he doesn't have the car. And here he is, 2nd place, gaining on the leader. And we've still got 66 to go. Still a lot of racing left, a lot of time. And the reason, by the way, there, Dua Luis here, he always does a very good job of explaining race control decisions. The reason there's no caution there, the car poses no threat to the racing surface. It's, a good 50 yards off the racing surface, and it's still under power, so it's not stopped, doesn't have to tow. Can easily pull away. That's why there's no caution. Obviously not what Stephen Massey wants to see, but a good call there. No caution obviously doesn't pose any danger to the racing surface. And again, we mentioned that pre-race here at Richmond with the self-spins, that there's a lot of room down the front and even down the back, really, to spin out and not cause a caution.
There really is. And I don't think, even when Kevin Cook spun out, I don't think there would have been a caution there had he not had to reverse it back to go straight.
Yeah, and again, Kevin, sure he didn't do it on purpose, but there's no other way to get it off the wall but to throw it in reverse. And certainly you want a caution at that point because you're the leader and you just spun out. You don't get the caution. You're going multiple laps down. You got to pit, this, that, and the other. So he got lucky
We got
there.
a
Stephen
great
Massey
battle
not so
going on
lucky.
back here, John. 4th on back to about 9th, all within about
What a
8
train.
tenths of each other.
Great
Great battle.
train of car. Sean Vandergriff making moves.
Yeah, John, he's been able to hang up there. I gotta give out a thank you to Sean Vandergriff. He's piloting the 2, but the 28 hours points for. Oh, we got a spinner behind him. That's Luis Salmazo, I believe. And the infield is not going to be a caution.
20 car still on track. It's not going to be Luis.
What a save by the 20 to keep that off the spinning and no caution. A great job by Luis. But going back to Sean Vandergriff, I've got to give him thank you for piloting that car tonight. Obviously, David Gross-Close is absent. He's our Mr. NASCAR tire engineer, and he's in Indianapolis tonight. So I want to thank Sean Vandergriff for stepping in there.
And apologies to you, Colin. Luis Salmazo was in the grass. I was still just a little bit behind on the replay from looking at the Stephen Massey incident. So Luis did spin it out, kept it straight in the grass, drove it away, so no caution
Calling me
there.
stupid.
I'm calling me stupid. I'm the one that messed up.
And John, I'm kind of, I don't know if it's iRacing or if it's me, but I feel like I'm hearing the 90 downshift in the corner. I don't know if it's iRacing glitching or just me, but I feel like I'm kind of hearing it. You hit that high pitch as soon as he hits the center. Has to be iRacing glitch because it didn't do it right there.
Yeah, and get what you're hearing there. I'm not hearing an upshift in the straightaway, though, which is making me think it could just be maybe the low gear they run here and it's picking up RPMs extremely quick. It does sound almost like a downshift, though. It jumps really quick, but I'm not hearing any upshift tones in the front stretch or the back stretch, which obviously you can't run third gear out all the way down. But yeah, get what you're hearing there. A little bit odd-sounding engine there. And again, it could be iRacing. They do use the same sound model for quite a bit of cars on here, so odd-sounding tone in the number 90. Obviously can't be an engine issue. iRacing isn't quite that in-depth. It's not down cylinders or anything like that, but odd-sounding tone to say the least.
Yeah.
But the 90 is maintaining the gap.
He's closing a little bit. He's closing about 200ths a lap, it looks like. Not much.
It's going to be 1.5 back as we come to 56 laps to go in what's been a briskly paced race. We're only just over an hour into it since we saw the green flag. Actually, just about an hour since we saw the green flag. So, very briskly paced. Could be our shortest broadcast coming off a few weeks ago. Our longest at Bristol. Could be our shortest here tonight. So, good rebound for these guys. They're racing extremely well. Putting on one heck of a show.
John, all I'm curious about is, John Noel gets loose. What a save. Good kind of steer by the 90. It's going to lose a little bit there to Anthony, but what I'm hoping, I guess, as a viewer, obviously not as an ECR member, what I'm hoping for as a viewer is I want that late race caution to see if somebody, 9th or 10th stays out and tries to keep the 90 back there for track position.
And caution.
Right there.
Speak of the devil.
I got to stop talking.
We say that every week, but it's kind of our job.
I'm looking at Luis Salmazo, John. He has major front-end damage. And him and the 51 of Douglas Hess looks like. 51 got loose and the 20 had nowhere to go.
Gonna go back here, take a look. We'll ride on board with Luis. Gonna see just quite what happened. You see, looking up at the GoPro Toyota, the only Toyota I believe in the field. Wow, the 51, a weird-looking spin there.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah,
Didn't
I'm not
really
sure right there.
Clean off the track at all. See right here, he comes up out of the corner, he spins, but
yeah,
he kind of just levitates there in the middle of the track. I don't know if he locked it down.
It kind of just slides, doesn't it?
It's odd because the old saying goes in pretty much any form of racing.
Yeah, if you look back at the replay, John, you see his left rear tire lock up. You see the smoke coming barreling out of it.
He did what you don't want to do when you spin on exit, which is lock it down. When you spin on exit, you want to keep it gas because you've got so much momentum in the car, you bring it around. But the old saying in racing is aim for where they're at, because by the time you get there, they're not going to be there. That's how you avoid wrecks. You just shoot for where they're at.
That's exactly what Luis did.
Yeah, Luis didn't do anything wrong. He pretty much did what you want to do. He didn't try any kind of weird moves to avoid it. Just
Nick
shot for where
Grove
it was at.
takes 2. A lot of guys take 2, and John Knoll, is saying, oh, John Knoll was black flagged. John Knoll was black flagged.
Speeding?
No, he's black flagged by race control. And I'm going to see if we can get some word here from race control tonight. Let's see if we can get a hold of them.
Yes, please.
Hey, George, you got a copy of it?
Yeah, I got you.
This is George Bryson, 48, everybody. George, can you explain the 90s black flag there for our viewers at home?
Yeah, when they were entering the pits, he checked up real hard right at the entrance, and you can't do that. I mean, if he was going too fast going in, he just had to take the penalty.
Absolutely. That explains it. Thank you very much, George, for the explanation, and have fun the rest of the race.
Yep, thanks, guys.
So John Knoll caught doing what's allowed in NASCAR but not allowed here in ECR, kind of speed up and then you slam on the brakes at the last second, showing a lot of rear end damage. He might have gotten drilled from behind there.
Yeah, Anthony Thischer, John, hit him hard.
And what's the guy that you don't want to hit you when you're trying to break a rule? Probably the league president. Not going to get away with that. Anthony Thischer plotted in the back of him there. That's going to be EOL and probably a talking to after the race. Tough break.
Absolutely.
He's got a long run ahead of him now. I think he's got the car to do it. But
he's a black flag, John. He's going to have to pit under green.
Oh, it's not just an EOL.
I don't believe so because he's running 7th right now.
Oh, my goodness. So John Knoll.
And this race is anybody's.
Wide open now. Kevin Cook, Mark Figueroa back into it. They were battling hard for second. Really the only ones to maintain any gap.
Yeah.
Nick Groth out front. He battled for a while. AJ Scarborough, surprise, up to second.
How about Mark Figueroa, Wayne Willard, Jeremy Rubin? How about Sean Vandergriff in 6th right now? John Knoll's going to go back down pit road. Rob Burns going to be shown in 7th. Matthew Thunhorst 8th. Matthew George 9th. Josh Mayu 10th. Kevin Cook 7th. Sean Medling 11th. Kevin Cook 12th. Anthony Fisher 13th. Aaron Vincent will be 14th. Chaffin 15th. And Chuck Carroll 16th. Those two are going to be receiving the wave around.
And look at the front end of Anthony Thischer's race car.
Yeah.
That thing is destroyed. The Jim Beam machine. Wow, that is an awful break, and I'm sure he's not too pleased behind the wheel of that machine. Hot tempers now. Got to get back under composure. Got to recover. But wow, tough break.
John, we have 49 laps to go with this restart here. Nick Groth, AJ Scarborough, Mark Figueroa, Wayne Willard, Jamie Rubin. Top 5. They're going to bring him down to the green flag as the pace car. It's going to make that hard left turn once again here for Richmond. 49 laps remaining, John, as these guys get ready to take the green flag.
Pace car on pit road. Nick Groth, hands in the field in his hands, and he's gone.
And his teammate right behind him gets a great restart underneath. Mark Figueroa, they're going to be side by side. No, he's not. He's going to back off.
Interesting move. Nick Groth went way up the racetrack to enter turn 1.
Well, John,
almost.
He's
and AJ in the wall.
Turn 2. Nick Groth and AJ Scarborough both into the wall.
And Nick Groth now going to be your leader,
Opening
gapping
up
just a
a
little bit.
lead, yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Lead
something
for
for
him.
Nick Groth? Coming off the suspension at
Absolutely.
Bristol, sat down with Anthony. I'm sure they talked and discussed different things and came back a new racer. And tonight showing that out in the lead, leading the field around Richmond. Under 50 laps to go. Should be a good finish. John Knoll, an update on him. Serving that black flag on pit road currently. You see him parked there in his pit stall. And coming by, I believe that's putting him 2 laps down now.
I think it's going to be 2 laps down. It's showing him on 152. Yes, he will be 2 laps down. That means he's going to battle the 97 and the 51 for the lucky dog.
Yeah, we do not have any car 1 lap down, and so John Knoll will be able to battle. You mentioned Stephen Massey, the 91, the 51 of Douglas Hess. Both those cars with damage. But the guy who
gets loose on the backstretch.
led the first 100 laps of the event. Looked like he had an 11-second lead, gapping everybody. And, you know, the rule book's the rule book. You broke a rule, and he's paying for it right now.
Oh, yeah. In the words of Montgomery Gentry, he's gone.
He is gone
like
from contention at the moment. He's going to have to catch a lot of breaks to be back in this one. I mean a lot he's going to have to get.
That's unfortunate for him, John. He's been having good runs in all 3 races he's been in. And obviously tonight the best out of all of them. And he's just not going to get to finish a show for it.
And that seems to be the story for some of these guys in ECR in the early season. They just, Wayne Willards, Nick Gross, they just get the runs every week. They get the qualifying, and we mention him. I take back Nick Groff. I'm not mentioning him.
Stop talking about people, John.
The cars on the track.
Quit analyzing the race.
I can't help it.
Car turns left.
Jinxing everybody in the field. Well, if you say car turns left, you're technically jinxing everybody.
Oh, so car turns right.
There you go. Now we're jinxing the poor guys over there trying to road race. Anyway, Nick Groth, your leader. We come to 44 laps to go. Column 43. This race is flying by.
It really is, John. It's a very quick race. Averaging 20 seconds a lap. So some of these guys are only 4 cautions so far, I believe. These guys are doing a great job. Everybody in this field is.
And Colin, I
coming
hate to
off last
correct
week
you
at
there.
Bristol.
But it's
Three
gonna
cautions.
be a good correction. 3 cautions, only 3
Come on,
cautions.
dude. I'm already getting crap from Thunhorse about my bad math skills.
It's not even math. That's a good correction to make. That's
That-
like
that is a
thinking
good
you owe
correction.
$1,000 and you only owe 100. I mean, that's not
I'd
at all a
prefer
bad
to
correction.
get $1,000, not
Well,
owe. But
Zeros only work
Yeah.
one way.
come on, man. Now that John Knowles not in this, 5th place, Jeremy Rubin.
Jeremy Rubin right around in front of the 6 and the 2. He's down in the grass.
But John, now that John Knowles not in this battle for the lead thus far, he's currently 19th, 2 laps down. This is anybody's race. If the 00 and the 19 get up here side by side, AJ Scarborough and Wayne Willett, it's classic motorsports 1-2. 19 hard into the wall, and I mean hard.
And Nick Groff, his struggles continue.
From
Just,
the lead though, that's a little better.
just
Or
cannot
is it worse?
keep it. I think it's worse. It's worse
Yeah.
confidence-wise. Just can't keep
And
a run
Matthew
together.
Thunhorse kills the wall down the backstretch.
See these guys now, they're picking up the pace. They realize what's at stake. They're
Yeah.
getting back on the throttle earlier and starting to tear up those race cars. One guy that hasn't done that, though, Mark Figueroa, creeping right there
Yeah.
looking for his second winning
And
caution
the
on the
caution's
racetrack.
out, not sure where.
Looks like it's going to be Matt Moritz I see parked backwards down the backstretch. I think that might have something to do with it.
Yep. Did
Man,
he have
Matt
contact?
Moritz, he's got talent, but he has been in a lot of incidents.
Yeah.
Nope, that one, just another one, got back on the throttle too soon. Spun it down. Are we sure that's
I'm not
the
sure why
caution?
the cautions. Yeah, that has to be the caution. Yeah, because he spun out John, and what he did is he locked him up.
And he was going slow enough by
the
iRacing
7 was
standards.
right there. Yeah, and the 7 was right there on track.
So iRacing deemed that he was turned the wrong way on the racetrack, and thus the caution comes out. So Matt Moritz, as I mentioned, a
Struggles
very,
continue
a
for him
very
as
good
well.
talent. He's my fellow Ohioan as well, and I feel terrible because,
And John
root
Knowles
for the
not going to
Buckeyes,
get the
but-
lucky dog.
yeah, John Knowles going to be pinned 2 laps down. The lucky dog's going to go
All
to
right,
Stephen Massey.
all the
97.
leaders here come down pit road. John Knowles, I guess, could stay out and get the wave around. As long as
I
all the
believe he
leaders.
has to at this point.
Yeah,
Nick Groth eases in his box. That might cost him there a slow stop.
very well could.
Kind of double
Battle's
braked
going
it
to be
there.
off pit road, John.
Stephen Massey comes down pit road multiple laps down.
As the luck dog.
Not sure what happened there. Might be a bit of an
Couldn't
ins.
explain that.
John
Yeah,
Knowles
couldn't
showing the
explain
lucky
that.
dog spot right now, though.
All right, here we go. It's going to be the battle off pit road. Nick Roth, I believe, is going to get Matt Figueroa. He does. Wayne Willard is going to be second, or is AJ Scarborough?
Look at this 3 wide off pit road. Mark Figueroa
wide
takes
off
the
pit
cone
road.
with him and
4
comes out in
wide
second
off pit
place.
road. Wow, what
What
a
a
battle.
race.
Hey, my Twins won.
There you go. The Indians did.
Yeah. Oh, they beat the Tigers, though.
Hey,
Look at that. That's
got
exciting.
stomped by the Royals. We were up 5-3, lost 11-5.
That's almost as exciting as Motive every Tuesday night at 9:23 p.m. Eastern.
That's what I call a segue. We are live here, folks,
Right
every
there.
Tuesday night, 9:23 Eastern. We go live for pre-race. We do some interviews. We get you the live open car qualifying, and then we get you what is proving to be week in, week out very exciting racing here on Motive Elite Championship Racing, brought to you exclusively by Motive here on this channel. Again, click that follow button. You can check the Twitters, the websites out down below, as well as iRacing.com if you're interested in signing up for the world's premier sim racing. I'd call it a game, but then Colin would yell at me. Sim.
I would.
That link's all down below. So our Twitters, the league website, if you're interested in applying for the league, wide open to applications, always looking to gain and find new members. And again, every Tuesday night at 9:23 Eastern, we do run the Xfinity Series race, the B car, on Monday nights if you're interested in running that as well. That is not broadcast due to my internet not cooperating, but we are live every Tuesday night. And this is only week 9, folks. We're only a quarter of the way through the season, a third of the way roughly through the regular season. And then we hit chase time, and I cannot wait for that, Colin.
No, me either, John. It's going to be a lot of fun with the chase scenarios and the different rounds. And I think we're definitely going to see, obviously we can't see physical fights, but I'd love to see some virtual fights.
And we seem to see those week in and week out, and they are sure fun to watch. But quick question asked in the chat here by a viewer. How do you join? I believe there's information on the league website about applying. I believe there's an application. I should know more about this. I kind of got in by proxy being friends with Colin here. But there is ways to apply. All that information's on the league website, ECRleague.com. Go ahead and look that up. Click the link down below either way you want to do it. There's plenty of info there.
Yes,
very
sir.
open applications. There's a quick, I believe, a safety test, and probably going to look at your driving style a little bit to make sure you're not insane. And then they'll fire you up. But John Knoll is taking the waiver around here that'll put him 1 lap down. Douglas Hess also showing 1 lap down. I believe he was a lucky dog. Stephen Massey pitted for whatever reason, and Nick Groth,
Jeremy Rubin stayed out, John, after he got loose there. I'm not sure
we
why.
completely missed that.
But he stayed out. After he did get loose, he went through the grass on those same exact tires. So you're gonna have to watch for some tire spin here. If I'm the 00 or the 6, I'm definitely a little nervous.
Yeah, wheel spin here, not as big of a problem as it is at a track like Martinsville. They run a little bit higher of a gear here, so you're not getting as much of that wheel spin in the back, but certainly still you put the throttle down on the 750 horsepower machine and it does wheel spin, and he's gone right away.
He does. He gets that wheel spin. You see the rear end kick out a little bit on him, but he got a great jump regardless. John, 33 to go that time by.
See the field streaming by under the flag stand. Still a lot of cars right on the racetrack.
Contact. I think that's Kevin Cook in the 45 and Sean Medley in the 37.
Yep, Sean Medley around the 51 gets a piece. Moritz spins to a stop just in front
and John,
of it.
That's Kevin Cook's second caution. If he ends up receiving the EOL, that's his second caution of the day.
And again, 2 EOLs, 2 cautions caused. Sean Medley may get this one. He was into the wall. I'd hate to be race control. I'd hate to be race control.
Because if you call 45 out, that's his second caution of the race, and you cost him essentially the championship lead.
And if I'm Stephen Massey, I'm having words right now with Sean Medley, and pulled right up the track in front of him, going full speed. Almost destroyed that race car.
John, I would like you to take a little guess as to... hold on. Race control is saying EOL is the 45.
So that will be Kevin Cook's second caution.
But you guess it's a lucky dog.
Sean Nolan, the number 90?
Yes, sir.
And so just like that...
he's going to get back on the lead lap. But he's not going to have enough time, John. I don't think so.
He only has less than 30 laps to pass 15 race cars.
Yeah. My dream situation, I guess you would say, for the 90 is to have about a 12 to 15 lap run here and then stay out so I can get some track position. And
12 to 15 lap exactly. It wouldn't bring in everybody, but I think it'd bring in enough that he could get his way back inside the top 10.
Yeah,
and have a chance. Right now, as you mentioned, if this was Texas or if this was, Auto Club or Michigan, I think he has a very good shot. But this being Richmond, can only pass maybe 1 every lap to start, and then as you get towards the top 10, maybe 1 every 5 laps. And at that rate, it's not going to be enough. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on him. Took the wave here. Jeremy Rubin still going to be your leader, not pitting.
Yep. Great. He got. I tell you what, this could work out very well for that 34 team.
Hey, we saw a guy win it last night, sitting right here next to me in the booth. Took the lead late due to some pit strategy.
Yeah.
Not even strategy. I mentioned earlier, just beat people out, and then got caution, and drove it to victory. So
yeah, I like
playing
that.
out very similar.
Caution. And then I got some people fighting behind me, and I was watching in my mirror, and I hit the wall, and I cried a little bit, and then I stopped crying, and I won. I won the race.
And you cried tears of joy and champagne, and
then you left.
And I took off.
He hit the hauler and threw his helmet and his Honda's bike like little Tony Stewart.
I did. I jumped out the car, spiked the helmet, slammed my motor coach door, threw my dog. Typical night. Did hang out with the girl a little bit.
All right, John. Let's see if we can get a rundown for these fans here with 29 to go as these guys take the 2 to green. We're going to be going to green, I believe, with 27 laps to go. We're going to have Jeremy Rubin, Nick Groth, Mark Figueroa, AJ Scarborough, and Matthew Dunhorst, your top 5.
Wayne Willard going to be 6th. Sean Vandergriff hanging on in 7th. Aaron Vincent, what a rebound for him. We haven't mentioned that all night long. Up to 8th position. Rob Burns in 9th, and Josh Mayu, your top 10. Anthony Titchener, 11th. Chuck Harrell, 12th. Troy Chaffin in the 13th position. And then, the story of the night, John Knoll looks like he's going to be restarting somewhere in the 16th position.
Yeah, John, he's going to restart back there. I'm going to see if we can get a word here real quick with our in-race reporter, the 49, Aaron Vincent. Aaron, you got a copy, buddy?
Yep, 10-4.
Hey, man, you found yourself in contention here late. You're in the 8th position. You've done a great job with the wave arounds, track position, everything. You've done great so far. What's your hope here as the race winds down?
Well, I tell you what, the first long stretch was really bad for me. Like, I was losing spots left and right, but I was able to pit, make some good adjustments, and move up. So at this point, I'm just looking to weave through these 7 guys in front of me and take home that checkered flag.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck. You guys are double foul right now. Good luck for the rest of the race, bud. And 27 laps to go. Have some fun for us.
10-4.
And that is the number 49 Lowe's machine of Aaron Vincent in the 8th position after being laps down, really battling a struggling race car. Rebounded nicely. He's got a chance at a good finish now. The guy we're keeping an eye on, Jeremy Rubin, stayed out the last 2 cautions. He's on old tires. He's got a spin on those tires. And he's going to have to do it. He jumped to start last time. Not going to do it quite this time. He gets another good jump. Look at the car wiggle.
Nick Groth gets a great restart there on the outside. Johnny's going to be able to hang with him. He's going to be clear to the bottom. Mark Figueroa already has that win. Do you think he blocks for that number 19? As the 19 looks underneath the 34 side by side on the backstretch for the lead.
Very well might if he gets the chance. Teammates will do a lot for teammates. The 34 throws a block into turn number 3. Couldn't put a piece of paper between their noses.
The 19 diamonds the corner side by side. Down the front stretch into turn 1. Was the 34 chop him again? No, he doesn't. 19 dives it down in there. The 5's going to have to work his way around the 34. 34 is going to try to cross the 19 over. Not going to be able to do it.
19 almost got just destroyed there. The 34 came right down on his nose. A completely legal move, but a close call. He wanted to keep the lead. Didn't work there. But wow, what a move of the 34 and awareness of the 19.
Sean Vandergriff gets a little loose. Anthony Fisher gets loose behind him. Matthew Thunhorse underneath the 5. That's side. And wouldn't it be something if Mark Figueroa loose?
Figueroa, Aaron Vincent spinning. Anthony gets into the 12.
Everybody's wrecking. Big wreck.
All the 12 back up. Hits the
Huge wreck.
61.
Huge wreck from the back of the field.
And they're piling in at the back of the field. See the 51 trying to drive through the junkyard.
Wow.
Oh, and Luis gets tagged. And there goes the 34's motor.
Wow.
What a crazy.
What happened?
I
saw the 00 got loose in front of everybody, but I think the 88 dumped the 48, and the 00, the 87 got in the back of the 12, the 49 clipped the 33 and the 61, and then the 37, and everybody's involved, and 7, the
So it
65,
starts up front, and then the 88 and the 49 is completely separate. The 12's checking up for the wreck. The 33's in it. 61 and the 37 are just kind of innocent bystanders.
If I'm race control, which I'm not, but if I am, I give that EOL, I think, to the 88 because the 00 was far enough ahead, and the 88 and the 49 made contact simultaneously.
Yeah, the 49 came back down and caught the 33. So it's got to go to the, I think the 88, the 12 and the 87 were in front of the.
And John, you know who the biggest winner of all that is?
John Knoll.
John Knoll. He's up to 10th.
And just like that, you mentioned.
Wouldn't it be something if he can come back and get even a podium finish?
Be the comeback story of the year for sure, but crazy finish.
I know, John. We're here to broadcast this race and analyze this race, but we are all sports fans, and I would like to announce that John Jones has been stripped of the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship from UFC, and has been suspended indefinitely.
Big move there by the UFC.
Big move, oh yeah.
I haven't followed that much, but I know the name, and I know that is a big deal.
Hey, he's repping my 607 strong.
That's a New York area code, for those of you that don't know. Not the most popular area code in the world, but...
Come on, man.
You're
We
proud
finished
of where
first
you
and
come
third
from.
last night. First
That's
and third,
true.
and John Knoll's doing good right now. He's from the 607.
A lot of people from the area code in the league. I only have one other Ohioan, keeping an eye on my Buckeye brother, Matt Moritz.
Ohioan.
He's having the night I had. Caught up in some wrecks. He's running 5 laps down in 20th. The Buckeye brother not doing too well. But Nick Groth, he is doing well.
Buckeye.
He's your leader.
Yeah,
Matthew
I'm
Thunhorse.
surprised Jeremy Rubin has not pitted. Sean Vandergriff up to 5th.
Hey, look who's in third, Colin.
I love seeing that. I know. I was just making a joke. If he finishes second again tonight,
We have to start something for that.
How about we'll start a charity fund?
I was going to say, there's got to be something we can do, like the the home run balls in baseball.
Every time he does, we'll have to say every time he doesn't finish second because he's going to finish second more often than not. So
we're not made of money.
Say, yeah,
we don't have money to donate every time he finishes second. That would be pretty much a weekly payment.
Yeah, so we'll I don't even know how we do that.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it post-race. Set something up. But we got to get the Matthew Thunhorse.
If he finishes second tonight.
Matthew Thunhorse bridesmaid charity for breast cancer. There we go. We can start up.
He did say he preferred groomsmen.
Doing well.
Best man. There you go. He said best
here
man.
at MOTV, you don't get to pick your nickname.
Oh, that's true. Brazilian redneck.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we'll have to
He
figure something out.
He's having not any luck tonight.
Help out a good cause with his good finishes, but not quite the best.
Yeah,
and you mentioned
absolutely.
Luis, 22nd, all beat up in that football team car there. Supposed to be the number 9 car again, showing the 20, but he's running for the 9 in owner points. Nick Olson saying a charity fund to benefit his hospital bill for his heart attacks. It's getting to that point. The 6 again, giving him palpitations. We are double file.
We're going to have a night 19-lap shootout. The guy to keep an eye on, obviously the 19 to lead, but also the 90 from 10th place. He restarted that last restart in the 17th position, 1 lap down. He's got the lucky dog. He's back up there, raced his way up to 10th, got through the wreck, and has dominated this race so far, but he's going to restart in the 10th position, John.
Gotta watch an eye on that 90.
Hard left turn. 19's going to try to get a best restart he can, and he does, and 6 since his tires a little bit. 34 stacks up the outside. 6 is a great restart. He's cleared a second. Anthony Fitchner underneath the 2, 3 wide into turn 1.
Oh, and the 2 sliding up, and Chuck gives him room. Anthony looking to make a drive back to the field. The 34 pushes high.
That was an aggressive move right there by the 87. He made it stick. Great move by the 87 right there. The 88's going to go outside 3 wide.
Ooh, close call with the 2 kind of entering the middle lane.
Mm-hmm.
Deciding where he wants to go a little late in the corner there, but he makes it work. 34 caught in a bad spot. And now he's going to pull down in front of the 2. Contact between the 2 and the 34. The 2 up the track. The 34 with a second shot block and almost as many laps.
And John Knoll underneath the 2 of Sean Vandergriff. That's for 7th. Sean Vandergriff clears him. 17 to go.
Forgetting about our lead a little bit, Matthew Thunhorse cleared a second place
there.
and looking at the bumper of the 19.
And Anthony Finchner's front end is all beat up, and he's still in 5th place. The top 4 have not won a race yet this season.
And
Great
Wayne Willard with a
stuff here,
quiet, consistent run, still there in 4th. Not going anywhere.
19, John, he's really got to wheel that car right now because he has 2 of the hardest driving, best wheelmen in ECR right on his tail.
Yeah, and a guy we haven't mentioned all night, AJ Scarborough running 3rd, looking for the podium finish
And they're
caution.
turn 2.
Oh, hard contact!
Mark Figueroa, 00 involved.
I saw
He
a
got
car.
contact from the 49. The 49 came down. The 00 got him. The 37 got him. 51. The 11. Some others involved. That's a tough break for some of those guys.
Looks like the 49 either pinched or the 00 came up.
Yeah, that's a tough call. If I'm
Oh,
in
and
control,
Caleb
obviously.
Sheets.
Had
That
nowhere
race
to
team
go.
is going to have to fix that car. He has hit almost everything tonight, and none of it's been his fault. 34 crab walk, or the 00 crab walking. Going to be a tough night going forward. That suspension all broken after that shot in the back. And yeah, a quick mention of a viewer on the channel right now talking about the 34 car. I wouldn't say he's driving dirty, but he's chopped.
He's driving.
He's
with
chopped
2
quite a
tires,
few
John,
cars.
With 2 tires driving that aggressive,
And when you chop, here's the thing about Richmond, too. You set up your brake point halfway down the straightaway. You pick it, you set it, and you go for it. And when you go to brake and a car in front of you just jerks down in front of your nose, a lot of times you can't react in time. And it happened with the 2. He cut down, the 2 hit him, and the 2 paid for it. So 34 staying on again, not going to pit. Not driving dirty, he's driving defensive, but those blocks are getting closer.
It's definitely a difficult situation, I guess you could say, but
He's got to do it.
He has to, but then again, with 2 tires, you're almost better off going down and getting 4 fresh tires and racing that way.
Yeah, at this point, I would have pitted for sure. With 14 to go, he's running 6th. There's only 12 cars on the lead lap. At this point, I think you just about got to go down. Because now he's just, the 2's not too happy with him. Now he's going to have to deal with that. He's got good cars behind the 2. He might find himself in a bad spot. But yeah, I wouldn't call it dirty per se, but yeah, certainly aggressive driving by the 34.
I don't think I'd call it dirty. I would definitely
it's borderline.
I don't know what you call that. Because it's aggressive. We'll say that. We'll leave it that way.
Blocking lies in that gray area where it's not illegal, but you just don't do it. It's
Yeah, just racecraft.
Yeah, we go back to racecraft. Our favorite racecraft's our favorite word on Monday. We talk about it pretty much all race long, debating what's the right and what's the wrong move. But it's one of those things where it's not illegal by any means. I mean, it's just kind of one of those widely accepted things you don't do unless it's life or death. I mean, coming down the end of a race, for top 5s, whatever, throw blocks all day. But 6th place, 20 laps to go. The guy's got the run. But 50-50 shot. Nothing
We're
wrong
closing
with it,
in on 10 laps to go, John.
This race has gone by so quick, Colin.
Yeah. And
Moving
look
in.
The top 4 have not gone to victory lane this season. The 1st, 2nd, and 4th have not gone to victory lane ever in ECR. This is going to be some fun racing down here. I think we're going to have about a 10-lap shootout.
And setting up more storylines, Anthony Titchener, 3-time winner already this season. He's in 5th, and John Knoll, the one who's dominated this race pretty much since the drop of the checkered flag until that pit road penalty put him 2 laps down, in 8th. So certainly those guys not out of it yet, but looking to get a new chase ticket punch tonight. Nick Groth, Matthew Thunhorst, AJ Scarborough, your top 3. You mentioned not in the chase yet. The next guy in the chase is Anthony Titchener. They're in 5th.
Yeah, John, some of the other guys who, obviously Kevin Cook and Mark Figueroa both had great runs going tonight. We're running 2nd and 3rd respectively throughout the entire first long green flag run, and are both have retired from tonight's event.
Tough breaks for those gentlemen there. Certainly not what you want to see. Richmond, one of those tracks, though, it'll do that to you. It really does. It chews you up and spits you out. It's very similar to a Dover. Beats up a lot of confidence, but the lights are out on the pace car. You mentioned 10-lap shootout getting ready to happen here. We raced the first 133 laps, or the first 33 laps green. A bit of a rash of cautions here towards the end. We're now up to 7, but with 10 laps to go, Colin, only time for one more caution.
Yeah, pace car's off. Nick Groth gets a great restart. The 6 gets a good jump to 5 underneath the 6 side by side. 19 has to be careful he doesn't switch lanes. I don't think he did. 87, 3 wide into turn 1 again on a restart.
87, the dive bomb. He pushes the 5 up the track.
Wow.
Oh, and the 5 is not going to appreciate that, and they're wrecking behind Wayne Willard. 34 around, hits the 2.
Oh my gosh, and that started way back in turn 1. The 5 and the 87 made contact up the hill.
And Colin, what is this setup? We're going to have a 5 or 6 lap shootout.
It's going to be fun, and look who's in 5th is my question. Or not my question, my statement.
John Knoll?
Oh, yeah.
We are going to go back and give you folks a look.
I'm having fun with this. Some guy that dominant. And I'll tell you who's loving these cautions, because I was in that exact situation last night, is...
your leader.
Yeah, exactly, Nick Groth.
You know, I got to give a call. I respect the way that Anthony races, but that was insane.
That was aggressive.
That wreck started with Anthony. He pushed the 5 up, which put the 1 3-wide middle who came down in the 34, just couldn't get the car turned off the corner. If that EOL, I don't know who you give that to.
I understand what you're saying. The 0-1 will probably receive it because he kind of came down. He came down on the 34, so I could see that the 0-1 gave it. But like you said, it did start way back in turn.
That's just one of those moves.
I kind of have to contemplate it because his 87 has those 3 wins. His 2 drivers, the 5 and the 0-1, were running 3rd and 4th. And
yeah,
now
he just dive bombed 3 wide.
0-1's back and third. As Nick Groth is pitting, he's black flagged.
For what? Lane change.
What?
Potential lane change violation, maybe.
But he didn't.
He does maintain the lead for now. Maybe going to get that cleared.
But he didn't.
Yeah, I don't believe he did either. A whole rash of incidents down the stretch here. What?
He didn't change lanes. I mean, believe me,
Don't
Nick Groth
believe
and
he
I
did
have our differences. Nick Groth and I have our differences for sure, but he didn't change lanes.
No, I don't. He's holding the lead. I think they might be reviewing this to clear it. He may have asked for an appeal.
They
EOL,
have to be.
Who's the EOL going to? Do we have that yet?
And we don't have that yet. Definitely 2. I don't know. Definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, but you mentioned setting the field here before we get the EOL there. Nick Groth in your lead 4 now. Little footnote to that. Monty Thunhorst in 2nd, Scarborough in 3rd. Anthony Titchener with a questionable move on the last restart maintains 4th position, and that brings John Knoll, the dominant car of the field, up to 5th after his pit road speeding, or not speeding penalty, his pit road rule incident, we'll say, up to 5th. So not sure. Nick Groth looks like he's pulling down to serve a black flag.
Wow.
Can we get word from race controller on what exactly that was?
Toad. We can try.
So that puts now your leader, Matthew Thunhorst.
I'm just not so sure about that, John. Kyle, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Can we have an explanation as to what the black flag was there for the 19?
The 19 was black flag for switching lanes, and for the viewers at home, I know they weren't able to see the Xfinity event, but I'm sure you guys remember what happened last night was the 4-car switched lanes before the start-finish line, and he got black flagged. It's basically the same exact call that was made last night.
10-4, buddy. These guys are getting ready to go green flag racing.
Tough call there
And,
from race control.
I have to disagree.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree with that as well. I don't think it was a lane change as much as it was a bobble.
And Wayne Willard, the 0-1, will be given the EOL for that call.
And I disagree with that call as well. But nonetheless, Colin, doesn't matter what we think. We're getting ready for a 4-lap shootout. The 6 in the lead, the 5 on the outside row. Anthony Titchener with 3 wins already in 3rd, and that puts John Knoll up to 4th.
Here we go. John pace cars off. Matthew Thunhorse has his best chance at a win so far. And he pulls up just as high as the 19 did.
Yeah, that'll be Anthony Titchener's going to be clear to 2nd if he can clear his
If this thing
teammate.
stays green, John, the 90's going to be there.
Yeah, the 90's going to be there. What a run off of turn number 2. The 90 going to look to clear the 5, and he just can't do it.
Matthew Thunhorse has come close so many times, John. If this thing stays green. Oh, we got one spin at 97 wrecking. No caution yet. The caution's out. Matthew Thunhorse is going to be your winner. No caution yet.
No caution, Thunhorse. There it is, and Matthew Thunhorse.
Is your winner.
First win for Matthew Thunhorse, and John Knoll. Disappointment strikes him so hard. He battled back and finished 3rd. And Anthony Titchener, 2nd place, knocks AJ Scarborough back to 4th. We made fun of him earlier, Colin, but I got to give respect out to the 6. He did it. He got the break. Questionable call. He wins it. He gets the win. That's what it's going to go down in the record book as. Your winner, Matthew Thunhorse, no matter how he got it done, I'm sure he's excited inside the cockpit of that race car. Going to bring the 6-car home. Nick Olson, his first win, I believe, as an owner, is going to come at the hands of his newly signed driver, Matthew Thunhorse. Only his 5th Cup start, I believe. Going to get him the victory. And now we can't make fun of him anymore.
Congratulations to him, though. I know it's been a long time coming in both series, and congratulations to him as they're coming around for the white flag right now. And it's been a long time coming. I know Matthew and I, we've been battling all season long so far in the Xfinity series, and I give him crap, and he gives me crap, and we have a lot of fun with it. And Matthew was going to victory lane for the first time in his ECR history. Anthony Titchener is going to run 2nd. John Knoll's going to get his podium finish 3rd. We're going to talk to all 3 of those guys after the race. Josh Mayu up to 6th, and Sean Vandergriff in his ECR debut 7th. Douglas Hess filling in for Justin Fuller is going to be 8th, and Sean Medling is going to come away after that incident 10th.
Quick note in the chat here, there is no green and white checker. That is not a league rule. The only league rule involving finishes is there's no one-lap shootouts. This would not be a one-lap shootout anyway. That is an iRacing issue that is not on the league, and Anthony Titchener spins the race car around after the finish. Anyway, Matthew Thunhorse going to be your winner tonight, folks. We'll keep it on him for his burnout. Long-awaited, much-deserved victory. Came at the end of some controversy tonight, but he gets it done nonetheless, and who are we to say that it wouldn't have had this outcome anyway? The 6-car in victory lane, Nick Olson, can finally rest easy. He gets the win at the 6, and the 6 going to do the Denny-style burnout and slide it through the start-finish line.
That's awesome right there. Good for them, and good for the 6 to get that victory, for sure. The 90's down there. I'm not sure if he's celebrating or if he's a little ticked off that he didn't get that victory, but
the 90 watching from close what could have been and probably should have been watching the first part of this race. So an interesting call.
Absolutely.
The chat talking about it right now, the controversy at the finish there. We'll certainly give you more. If not this week, next week we'll talk to race control and see what exactly happened there.
Yeah, like you said, John, it's not our call. It's as much as we give our opinion from analyzing the race from this standpoint, it is not our call, and that's final. Simple as that. It's not DW or Larry McReynolds' call when NASCAR decides to black flag somebody. It's NASCAR, it's ECR's call in this situation, and 19's going to have to live with it for now. The 6 car is your winner, and we're going to talk to the top 3 momentarily.
Doing the Polish victory lap, the 6, driving it around the track. What a win for him. We'll go ahead and get our top 3 in here. Colin, I believe you want to take 3rd place, John Knoll.
Oh, wow. I guess I'm going to take the 90 here. I know probably the hardest 3rd place we've ever had to do. And, John, questionable call with you on pit road, the black flag. You went 2 laps down. You got the wave around. You got the lucky dog. You had the dominant car. You led the first 100 laps. You had the dominant car. You came all the way back up to 3rd place. Could have won the race had that last caution not come out. An overall roller coaster day for you. How do you feel about your night? So overall, this 90.
I mean, it was a good race. The first 100 laps were really, really good. Everything, the car was just on rails, man. I mean, it was just going around. And I was on a Sunday drive, you know, basically to nail it down. And then, yeah, I was getting ready, going over the radio, telling them what to do for fuel, and I wasn't paying attention. I look up, and I happen to see the pace car gone, and past the pace car, I got black flagged. Stuff happens, that's racing. It's the way it's going to be, but I'm just glad I was able to get this back up. I mean, Mark, he gives me insane setups. This car was just unbelievable tonight, and I just wish that I could have put it up, finish first, where it belonged.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had a great run overall, and we've been talking, you and I have, you've had these good runs, you just haven't gotten the finishes, and finally, maybe not the finish you deserve, but regardless, you had a great finish in a P3. John Knoll in the 90, congratulations on your top 3, man.
Thank you.
And that was your 3rd place finisher with his new paint scheme tonight. The driver, the number 90, John Knoll, brings it home in 3rd. And now, towards the end of the race, one of the more controversial moves there. Anthony Titchener, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, first I want to say congratulations on a 2nd, because we noted earlier in the race you were a lap down. You had a rough night. You battled back and finished 2nd. What was it like coming from the lap down and making your way back to that 2nd place finish?
I'll tell you, it was astonished tonight. I'm just so happy to get a 3rd, man. I didn't want to have to do what I did there. Controversial was probably referring to when I went inside Aaron there. He missed a shift. He was so worried about the 19 switching lanes there on that restart that I didn't want to lose my momentum. And then I got hard, tight up in there. So, I mean, just to end up there, me and John Knoll both noted that what happened to him and him working up through the field, it was a crazy night, man. Just happy to get through it. I didn't have a long run car at all. We didn't expect the long run there. Was over 100 laps there at the beginning, so just real proud of these boys tonight. We could have had more green runs there at the end, but it was good fun racing.
And I was going to ask next about the incident. You kind of cleared it up there, so I'll ask a bit of a different question. In that incident, took out the 0-1 car. Moving forward in team meetings and stuff like that, how's that addressed amongst teammates?
The incident took out the 0-1? Wasn't even aware.
Yeah, he got caught up towards the back end, the stack up of the cars moving up the racetrack there.
Yeah, they called it on him on that one. I guess he didn't feel like it was on him. He was trying to avoid guys. There's nothing bitter between us. I don't know how it looked there on the racetrack, but we were pretty much just trying to avoid all the chaos there at the end. I felt like guys were just... It was rough, man. For the last 20 laps, guys were definitely putting all in it there, and it was fun. It was real fun racing there at the end, and just congrats to Matthew and all the hard work that they've done. I can't say much more, man. It was great racing.
Chaos and fun. I think a good way to sum up the finish to that race there. But a good P2 there by Anthony Titchener. Moving forward, looking forward to next week, what do you think you got for Dega?
At Dega, we pride ourselves at these tracks, man. We have really good chemistry, really good teamwork, and really good strategy when it comes to here. So hopefully we can do something to compete with them Moist Boys and the B cars, and of course with the Classic Motorsports and Young Guns in the A cars. It's really heating up here. We're starting to find out who the teams are to beat, and at the Talladega, you get to see the fun and the teams all working together, and that's what you'll be looking forward to seeing with us, man. We'll definitely be working together and trying to get to the front.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Again, congratulations, 2nd place, Anthony Titchener, the 87 Jim Pimpar. Congratulations on the 2nd place finish.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, and appreciate everybody that's watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.
And we're going to do something a little different here, John. Obviously, usually we talk to the winner after 2nd place, but before we do that, I got a special interview I'd like to do. Nick Groth, how do you feel about that call there at the end, buddy?
I'm not impressed.
Obviously, go ahead.
I mean, I looked at the replay and I saw there was room for 3 cars up top, and I'm just not impressed.
Obviously, a more controversial call. How do you plan on going about with ECR officials and everything? How do you plan on going about? Obviously, you're probably going to appeal that penalty.
I highly doubt I'm coming back.
to the league?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Strong words from the 19 there of Nick Groth. Post-race, obviously not happy about race control's call there, but the show must go on, John, and we have a first-time winner for the first time, not in second place, multiple times. Matthew Thunhorse in victory lane, man. Congratulations on your victory.
Didn't even see this one tonight. I was going top 5? Sure. Not this.
Absolutely, man. And we were picking on you, bridesmaid, groomsman, whatever you want to call it. You were going to be second there. It looked like, obviously, Nick would get the head on the restart, and the black flag cleared the lead to you. And did you feel like if that race went green, you were going to be able to hold off the 87 and the 90?
I probably wasn't going to be able to. I mean, that last caution came out around 190. I was kind of like, dang, there just went every chance I had for a win. And then the thing with Nick happened, and I think Anthony, if he had another half lap or even another lap, he was going to put the bumper to me, and him and John were just going to race it out. So,
Good.
I mean, it's been easy because every time I've gotten a second, everything's gone the wrong way, and this one, everything just lined up. I don't know how.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you finished second last night. Probably would have won had you in the 51 not gone at it. Probably would have gotten to me. You could have had the sweep, but you didn't. You got the win tonight. Congratulations on that, man. You're in the chase. It has to feel relieving as well.
Yeah, I was trying to hold back emotions of the checkered. It was just like, oh my God, this can't be happening right now. It shouldn't be happening.
Well, you've raced in 6 of the 9 events so far this season, and you have 5 fives, including a winner in the ECR Cup Series. Matthew, congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, I just wish it didn't have to be with so much bad luck and controversy around the win, but there were a lot of good guys tonight that had bad luck, and that's the only reason I even did where I did.
Absolutely. Regardless, a win's a win. Congratulations, Matthew, and we'll see you in the chase.
Yeah, probably next week I'll be getting interviewed by John again, so we'll wait for that.
Interviewed by John at second place finish, but John, some controversy for sure, and some very strong words from Nick Groth.
You know, we talk about Saturday night short track racing. Today we saw was effectively Sunday morning short track racing going absolutely crazy down the finish there. We saw everything from multiple car pileups to the controversial race control call, leading to some strong words by Nick Groth towards the finish there. And then the surprise win. Matthew Thunhorse pretty much pulled it out of his sleeve, the ace up the sleeve there, came through, got the victory. Fun night, to say the least, Colin. Any closing thoughts on what was probably one of the weirdest finishes we've had this season?
Closing thoughts were congratulations to Matthew. It's unfortunate for John and obviously Nick Groth. Those guys had fast cars, and probably one of those two were going to win the race if they both didn't get black flagged. Anthony made a strong move, ended up taking out 2 of his teammates, which I'm not sure about with 3 wins there, but AJ could have gotten a win, and Wayne definitely had a top 5 car. Regardless for that, both guys had strong runs. Everybody had a strong run. It seemed like everybody at one point was inside the top 10 tonight. And some guys like Charles Silver came back and got a 15th place finish out of it. So good job by those guys. And congratulations to my 2 drivers, Josh Mayhew and Sean Vandergriff, on their 2 best finishes of the season.
Well, Colin, you called it at the top of the show. It's a race of comers and goers, and tonight we saw drivers. Second place was 2 laps down. First place was a lap down. Third place was 2 laps down. Guys struggled and battled through adversity and came away with some pretty good finishes. So next week we go to Talladega with hopefully 100% less controversy than we had tonight. Should be a fun one. We are live every Tuesday night, 9:23 Eastern, right here on this Twitch channel. Check out our Twitters down below, the websites as well. Feel free to come on back, hit that follow button. As again, every Tuesday night, 9:23. We hope to see you guys back here next week. It was a fun week this week at Richmond. The night race turned to day, and with it brought one of the more fun finishes we've had this season, to say the least. So we thank you guys for stopping by. As always, for my broadcast partner, Colin Fern, I'm John Bucher here for Elite Championship Racing, brought to you exclusively by MOTV. We thank you for coming out tonight. We hope to see you guys next Tuesday. See you then.